All right. We are live. Welcome back from AFCA, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on for another night. How was the trip to the American Football Coaches Association convention?
It was good. It was good. Met some new people. So caught up with a bunch of old friends and colleagues and all that kind of stuff. It was good.
What was the highlight besides hanging out
There's
with the Coach Vass Football team that you I heard you hung out with a couple guys that have been helping me out.
yeah, I did. I got to meet Brandon Couch and a couple other awesome guys I spent some time with. Some good dudes. Got to talk a little ball. There were some great speakers, although I only heard one. I know the lineups were great. But like the biggest thing for me is just catching up with friends and seeing how everybody's doing and pounding the pavement for a new job, all that kind of stuff, shaking the trees, see what falls out. But yeah, it was a good time, good trip. Really, I had a good time watching the national championship game. That's always kind of a highlight, of the trip. I got some friends at Georgia, so awesome for those guys. They're super stoked. Sent me a really cool picture of him and his wife with the trophy, which was really cool. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it was a good trip, man. It was good. It's good to be home though.
I talked to a bunch of those guys over the week. I was doing something. I'll just leave it at that. And I was so happy. Like I love Bama. I know some guys over there. Jake Long is a really great guy. He's one of the quality control coaches. I think they have different names, but I feel a little ignorant for not knowing his title. But as much as I like Pete Golding and Jake and obviously Coach Saban, I was happy for Georgia to get one.
Yeah.
Glenn Schumann is a good friend of mine, and he's been there. They've been there now. I think this was year 6 for Kirby. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, so it's year 6. They've busted their ass. To see Dan Lanning go out with the W as he flew to Eugene this morning. It's funny, the team didn't leave till like 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
I thought it would be like get on the plane and let's go celebrate in Athens, but apparently not.
No. Yeah, I too much fun to be had there at the hotel in Indy, I'm assuming.
Did you
I
see?
mean,
did you see Spencer or
Stetson Bennett.
Stetson Bennett's interview on Good Morning America?
I did.
He was
Good for him.
wasted. I wish he would have gone on with. I don't know if
Yeah.
they still have the show, but Kathy Lee and Hoda. Remember how they used to drink? They used to get drunk on the show. That would have been great. They would have
I
matched
can't
each
believe
other
they
for
put him
beer.
on TV in that state. I mean, great for the kid. What an unbelievable story. Everybody knows the story, but I mean, just
Did you
congrats to the
hear he
kid.
was a walk-on?
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. So when I was at AFCA, one year I watched my first year at AFCA. I didn't know how to do it right. So my first year at AFCA, I was with Brian McGinnis. He's now the director. He's been the director of football operations at Colorado since Mac was there. He was a GA with me. And we sat in the hotel and watched. I think it was Les Miles when his first one.
Okay.
And then my last year at AFCA, I got smart. I somehow got passes to some party. It was like some VIP. It really wasn't even anything special. It was like free drinks, but it wasn't like it was this giant ballroom they had set up. I think it was Exos. And I watched the Auburn Oregon National Championship. I think that'd be the right time frame. Well, it's always a fun experience to be where I wonder what the percentage of college football coaches that actually go.
Yeah.
I wonder, because I know a ton that didn't go, and I didn't know then everybody else, and it went by so fast. I was working on some projects over the weekend, so my weekend went really fast, and I was not feeling well. But yeah, it's always a fun time to be there watching the national championship game with all of the coaches from all of the country together.
Yeah.
And you're all bitter and you're sitting there and you're like, oh, I would have done this, and oh, I would have done that, and oh, they should do this, as we're sitting there bitterly sipping, well, for me, a Red Bull, but everybody else some sort of adult beverage.
Yep. Good times.
But anyway, I'm gonna go next year. I want to set up a booth in the not the showroom. What do they call it? The
exhibit hall.
The what? I'm sorry.
The exhibit hall, the show hall.
That's right. Yeah, I want to set up a Make Defense Great Again booth and have a computer sitting there and do live pods. But I think to get on the main drag where everybody would walk by would be a lot of money for nothing. Like, I'm not going to sell anything, so I wouldn't make any money off of it. But I position myself right next to USA Football. Flip off Grabowski. He's probably watching. Anyway, enough bullshit. So I want to be very transparent with you guys. I ordered some food, and it is an hour late. And I know that people have complained. I had to sneak food, and I think it was on the Ole Miss. But I was by myself for that one. The Ole Miss TCU breakdown. And I was chomping a little bit. Thank you. I was chomping a little bit, and somebody's like, are you eating? Oh, my God. Well, guess what, motherfuckers? I'm eating tonight. I haven't eaten yet. So it was either cancel the damn thing or sneak a few bites. So Ben has agreed to vamp for me tonight. So when it's time for that, I'm going to go off camera, mute myself, and I'm going to throw it to Ben and then stuff my face full of nuggets. I ordered Chick-fil-A. Oh, it's here. It's been canceled? Oh, great.
Classic.
Why has my order been canceled? This is terrible.
Who'd you order it through?
DoorDash. This is not good. This is really not good because there's a lot of meat on the bones. No pun intended for this game.
There is a lot going on in this game. This was a good one.
Yeah, and I feel like we're going to be here for a while. And I don't want to leave prematurely, but I need to figure something out like now because I'm pretty damn hungry as it is. Anyway, so please listen. This is not ESPN. This is not SB Nation or The Ringer. This is me and Ben talking ball. So I don't know. I'm a country football coach. I hope you can. If there's a little chomping going on, I hope that doesn't. I can mute myself. Whatever. All right. We got to get this man a pizza. Yeah. I should put my address out on the stream. That'd be smart. All right. So.
Yeah.
All right. What were your thoughts in the game? I have some thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts.
This was probably my favorite one. There was a lot going on.
Really?
Certainly, the 49ers. There was a bunch of little things that I kind of liked.
Opinion. No, this is great. I mean, otherwise it would just be boring if it was just what I thought. I mean, so I'd love to hear it. What caught your eye?
There, obviously there was more split safety in the red area than I thought there would be.
Mm-hmm.
They play on some first and second down plays. They played with 2-3 techniques, no A gap defender, which I thought was really cool. I'm assuming that was to help the stretch. You're better against the stretch both ways there. I like that play that LA ran a couple times. I don't think it ever hit, but kind of the duo with the split action where they got the guy splitting. Like, it kind of looks like split zone, but it's like split duo to go block the corner.
Yeah, I'll go over that. I did a bunch of research on that play today, so I talked to some people that are way smarter than me. So I'll go into that. Yeah,
and that's a play we ran here at Colorado State with Coach Dazio, which is a really cool little concept. I don't ever remember seeing it before, and then we started running it in fall camp.
Oh, so you're familiar? Okay, you're familiar with it.
Cool.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, then maybe you can teach me
so it's something we actually ran here.
I had heard of the play, but I hadn't really hadn't really run it or seen it run like in the wild, so to speak. So
Yeah, yeah. I think that was a cool little play.
yeah,
Um,
I think it was
Obviously,
the
like
play that Belichick
the
put in
McVay scheme.
to beat the 6-1 stuff, or McVay put in to beat the 6-1 stuff.
Yeah, everyone's playing in them in the tilt front now that you see that Belichick used in the Super Bowl. I mean, how cool was that too to watch that game? One of the most explosive offenses in the history of the NFL, and then all of a sudden they go down and just get absolutely ship-happied, um,
I
which
liked
was
it.
which was a lot of fun to, as a defensive guy, people were complaining about that game, like, oh,
Yeah,
there's no points, this is so boring. And I was like, this is awesome. I can't,
yeah,
and then certainly certain, stuff got leaked. Some of that stuff got leaked, and now we've got a little bit more information on that game than we had when we watched it live. And
yeah.
so, that was super cool. But yeah, the 49ers defensive philosophy is different from some of the other defenses that we've watched.
Right.
They play the three deep stuff almost exclusively. Their defensive linemen got asses in the air. They are coming off the ball. They're playing pass first. They're reacting to run. They're getting up the field. Very disruptive, which obviously when you're playing, gap control defense, you can play that way. Um, I thought the 49ers handled the jet motion really well. In that three deep stuff, sometimes it's difficult because you're bumping all the underneath guys. In three deep zone, you've got four underneath droppers, and so when you get jet motion or something like that, or sometimes even change of strength motion because it's difficult to determine the difference, as it's happening right away. All four guys underneath, their alignments change with the motion, their responsibilities change with the motion as it goes from 2x2 to 3x1 or 3x1 to 2x2, and your run fit rules change, and so it's a great way, offensively to attack, three deep when you're not going to run the nickel on change of strength motion. And so I thought the 49ers handled that stuff really well.
Right.
There was a couple really good plays. I thought the 49ers corners do an excellent job playing the run at a three deep zone. Like the nub sets that they
Yeah.
got, they had some excellent cracking replaces. I mean, I thought there was some really cool things that happened in the game.
Yeah. Little, like you said, little things. Let's get into it. And I got some inside information. I'm gonna be looking down at my phone a bunch. If you think that we figure this crap out on our own, you're wrong. Everybody, anybody that sits here in this position and tells you that they figured all this shit on your own, and I feel like a broken record. I say this every week, like, unless you're in those meeting rooms, like we'll get to an example tonight of a famous, what's not famous Zimmer. I call it a Zimmer blitz. He is by far not the one to come up with it or do it first. God knows who did it first, but he gets pointed to a lot to this stuff. Pour one out for the man. But so I had a friend in the
Yeah.
league be like, let me know what plays you're going to break down because we run the same defense. And so I was like, I don't know. I kind of watch the game and then pick them last minute. Sometimes we don't even pick them. I just roll. And so he just started sending me random stuff. So I'm going to be looking at my phone a lot to give you guys some notes on. There's some really good stuff in there. All right. So I screwed up. Let me make sure this is framed properly. Okay, because I screwed up and I resized the video a little bit. I don't really know what happened. I think I pulled up a second window. So I'm gonna that's about as much film as I'm gonna get framed properly. So we'll do the best we can. So Trill asked in the chat, can you explain cover 9? So cover 9, we'll start with that. So cover 9 can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. There are no universal football terms. Okay. Even cover three. Even cover three. De La Salle High School. I'm not speaking out of school right now because Terry's gone, but Terry Edson from De La Salle, he called cover one what most of us would call cover one, cover three, and most of people what they call cover three, cover one. So 40 cover one for them was over cover three. Why? I think was to confuse opponents.
Oof.
I mean, I don't know. But there's a very, 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 very few terms in football that are universal. Banjo's the one that always comes to my mind. Not everybody uses a term, but everybody knows the term. You know, like even the smash route, I call it China. Smash to me, when I know if I'm talking about offense, it's what it is, but like, so that smash to me is the old NCAA blitz. So when I try to use the language of the teams that I'm breaking down to keep it consistent. I don't know Salah's language. I know that D'Amico played for Wade Phillips, so I was looking for that to see if I saw much of an influence, and I didn't really see it. I think he played for Wade. I remember when I did. Yeah, I'm almost positive because I remember when I did like that all Wade Phillips team. Is your internet down, man? You look like you're coming through like a 2008 flip phone. Oh, you look clear now. You got all pixelated for a second.
It does look. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's my Wi-Fi or something.
Oh, well, don't experiment with it now.
Yeah.
But so Trill, when I say cover nine,
D'Amico played middle linebacker for Wade Phillips in Houston.
Yep, that's what it was. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought because I did a whole thing. I like ranked them. I went through like Pro Football Reference and I ranked them and made like a whole like spreadsheet thing as like a cool little thing for the podcast when I interviewed Wade. So cover nine, the only time I've used the term cover nine, I believe, in this series or whatever you want to call whatever we're doing, was that's what Fangio calls 3-week rotation. The other usage I've seen is the Saban guys call cover 9 weak side rotation. Yeah. In their base stuff. So like under 9 rat, but that is very rare. But so you'll hear the same things called different names because I'm using that team's terminology. So like tonight, you're going to hear a little bit of that. There's a pressure I'm going to show called whiskey. That it's a million different things. It's called a million different things. In fact, some people don't even have a name for it, like a one name for it. So that's what 9 means so far. But that's, again, Trill, that's not a universal term. So if you're like, oh, we're playing cover 9, it means, I think cover 9 for Bud Foster was like inverted halves. You know what I mean? So, or no, that was his quarter half. So, it could be a million different things. All right. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into the film. Please don't screw up. All right, first play. The Niners are in nickel. Now the Rams, interesting thing about the Rams had 3 personnel groups the entire game. They ran 11 personnel. They ran 12. Actually, no, yeah, they ran 11. They ran 12 jumbo, and then what I call 13 elephant. So I kind of mentioned this last week. If I say 12 jumbo, it means this. So personnel, for those of you guys who are newer to this stuff, personnel is usually done ever since the 80s. I remember there was, and apparently Wade told me he came up with that system, but there was a system that Buddy Ryan had that nobody uses anymore, but it's backs then tight end. So what I do is if a team is playing with 6 linemen, I count one of the linemen as a tight end, and then I add jumbo, a J for jumbo. If it's 2, I use E for elephant, and I count that guy as a tight end. So you're going to see 11, you're going to see 12 jumbo, and 13 elephant. So every time they're in double tights, the 6th tight end, or the 2nd tight end is a 6th lineman. When they're in 13, the 3rd tight end is a 2nd lineman. They don't run true 12 personnel, which is interesting. And I don't really know why you would do that, but we'll see a little bit. Maybe we'll figure it out today. All right, so first play, the Rams are going to run duo. The Niners do something that I've been preaching for I don't know how long, but they get guys up here to press these guys coming down because duo it wants to roll off the table. It basically wants to pin you inside like this and then cut out. And what ends up happening is if guys don't get up here and are physical with these cats, They just get to your backers and they trap you inside. What the Niners do is they get everybody up here. So I'm an old bear guy, this is actually what this is. This is the bear, where you want to press these guys so they can't climb, and you keep this guy free, or at least try to, and then this guy will make the play off the edge. And I talk about this so much. Ben, check your phone. That you want to get up close here as to. Not only does it it prevents these guys from picking off people inside, it cleans up the block. So with these guys right here, sorry, that was a shitty drawing. These 3 guys right here, these 3 receivers have to block now. They have to get on somebody and they have to get a body on them now, which means this guy can read faster. And this is part of what, I know this snap is, I think this is cover 1, but what Ben was talking about with them playing the run easy, and it's, yes, they're physical and they do a great job tackling, but part of it is their reads are cleaned up because they have all these bodies here. And these guys, if they want to run and goes, they got to bluff and go fast. They have to get out of there. When you line up off the ball, they can come off fast and then go. But when you're pressed up there, they got to make a quick decision. So I always preach that to coaches. I love this. They're pointing. Okay, you're going to take that guy. Like, yeah, it's a run. There's just chaos created inside. The Niners, I'll tell you this. They were physical. They played fast. I mean, they were on it. So you can see duo here. So duo, they want to get double teams at the point of attack. So I was talking to my friend Ray Dayton today, and he said, duo, it's either you want to double a guy who's the weakness, or if you're playing Aaron Donald, it's the guy you got to double. Okay. So the Rams try some switch blocking here. So they want to try to go down, down, kick out. So this ball can go this way. Why am I stepping away. So everybody always asks for my less experienced guys. If this was zone, so a lot of the times, especially versus bear fronts, well, I'd say in bear fronts, what you can tell is they would try to double here, cut this off, fan. What gives away that it's duo is these guys, they're stepping together. They're singling here. But the quickest way to tell is if it was zone, he'd be going this way. Okay, because everybody said that there's that running joke, is it duo, is it zone? But because all this shit is gummed up in here.
We need to do a show with Betts where he does nothing but guess it's duo or zone.
Yeah. They're able to get in there. They're more physical than the Rams. Now, I know that the Rams receivers are elite and they are physical, but they were not elite or physical this game, in my estimation.
No, they got knocked around pretty good.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, holy shit. All right, so so they're trying to run the ball early. So the Niners are putting their 3 technique away from the back, and they're bringing down their safety, which to me is interesting because he is now an A-gap fitter by picture. However, this 3 technique right here is going to come inside to make him the final B-gap player. So it's 3 week rotation. So if you were in the Fangio world, this would be called cover 9. This is called so many things. 3 week, cover 6, cover 9. It depends what tree you're on. If you're a 1-high team, it's more likely to be called 6. So 3 is strong, 6 is weak. If you're a split safety defense like Fangio, he bases everything on a split safeties. For him, it's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8. So 2 is cover 2, 4 is cover 4, cover 6 is quarter, half, cover 8 is half, quarter. Where like Nick Saban, they don't play half, quarter. They call it cut with a or clip with a posse check, but they don't. Cover 6 is weak side rotation 3. Cover 8 is actually quarter, half. So that's what gets confusing when you're first learning defense, which I'm learning offense right now. I've decided to learn offense from an offensive perspective, which I've done a lot over my time. But my goal is by August of 22 to feel comfortable enough to be an OC at the high school level for my own, just because I want to. And so I'm struggling with this now as learning is you got to pick a system, learn it inside and out, and then branch out. If you try to learn too much crap off the bat, it will confuse you because you'll be like, wait, I thought this was this. That's what they always say about coordinators and stuff, Ben, and you tell me about this. Like, you were at a couple staffs for Colorado State.
Yeah.
The hardest thing is the terminology. Yeah.
Yeah, it just like in one system for us, cover 9 was fire zone coverage, and so it's like every time a new staff comes in, you you understand what you're talking about conceptually, but the language changes. And so like when you first get going with the players, it's like, all right, we're going to call this cover 9. uh, but like when you think cover 9, you're thinking fire zone, but it's not anymore, right? Cover 9 is now this coverage. And so like you're trying to like they're trying to create as much carryover, as much same as all this other stuff. But yeah, it's the terminology is always the biggest learning curve, learning what everybody calls everything. The biggest thing I think for me is like learning conceptually that this is cover 3 rotated week, and
Right.
then like, okay,
Then
I
you
know
can
in the
call it
Saban
whatever
world
you
it's
want, right?
yeah, like you could call this the hippopotamus coverage. Like it really doesn't matter what you call it; it's all semantics at that point. But the language system in your system, in your offense or your defense, whatever side you're on, the language system is so important, I think, because it allows for streamlined teaching. It allows for the to create a lot of clarity in what you're talking about, and it makes things as it allows you to do a lot, because you can create a lot of same as teachings when everybody understands how the terminology system works.
Absolutely. Great. Great points, man. That's the hardest thing. Like, I remember Alex Smith, he had like his first 5 years, he had like 5 different OCs, and they're like, I remember him saying, we run a lot of the same calls. It's the terminology that gets me.
Yeah,
So
no doubt.
here's a zone read play. I'm doing, I know you can't see me right now, but I'm doing air quotes, and I'm doing air quotes because this guy, let me let you in on a secret. I know I'm gonna blow your minds here. That guy right there, he's not keeping the ball.
Yeah,
So what's interesting is the Niners actually set their 3 technique away from the back, so you can see him when he trades. And the reason that teams do this, and we used to do this, is for different targets for the O line. With zone, with this guy in a 2 right here, I mean, he's slightly inside. You're gonna get this guy to bump out here, and then probably climb. Right? He's gonna try to overtake 1-on-1. He's gonna try and sift up. I don't. Some people use different words. But I'm in a single. So he's going to step in the play side gap. He's not going to see anything. He's going to try and climb, usually. He gives him a hand, and then this guy's going to jab in here and go inside. Now, I don't know if he knows this. Some systems, they will coordinate, and he will know, hey, that guy's going to go inside if I get zoned to me, so I'm the final B-gap player. Some systems don't. Like when we taught our safeties to read space, because we did so much crap up front that we couldn't possibly tell them. So we were like, we ball fit with the safety. So you're going to fit the ball's going to be on that shoulder. I don't give a shit what gap. You find the ball and you go.
We did a bunch of that too.
The reason that that's what I think they're doing. I think, and this, again, I'm spitballing here, but this guy's giving a hand for this A gap, but he's trying to climb fast, which allows him to strike here. As it's a timing mechanism, as he starts to climb, I can rip inside and make a possible TFL. Now, the center actually does a good job of getting his hat on the safety. That's a pretty good block, I'd say. I don't know. I'm no O-line expert, but that's pretty good.
He does a good job adjusting to the late rotation and the late front change too.
But this is why this play is absolutely stupid. And I'm going to shred. Everybody knows. Listen, I want to say this off the bat. I think Sean McVay is a good coach. I think his offense is actually pretty innovative. I think it's very well put together. I think it's great. It's definitely effective. I just don't like it. So as a style thing, because of shit like this, because of their way they structure their offense, their run game was very limited, and you're gonna see it bite them in the ass this game. So they're trying to do shit like this. They're running into a damn near 7-man box, running zone read with a guy who cannot run the football. And so I don't know if the Niners had showed something on tape, but this is in your early script. Like, why would you do this? The D end, look how wide this, and this is also in the NFL. This is what's fun about watching the NFL is you see shit, and we talk about this every week. I think, Ben, this is what your 3rd or 4th week in a row being on here. is you see shit that you don't see at our levels, being high school and college. This
Yeah.
wide ass 5 technique can make the tackle over here because he knows he's actually
Yeah.
like, please God, pull the ball. And then so you get 2 gap, 1 gap here. So this guy strikes, actually starts to rip inside, then crosses face back out, which means I don't have to be an O-line expert to tell you this guy is not good if he's allowing that. And then watch the 2 technique here. He is playing front side of this. Armstead, he is playing front side of this. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, and just from a basic math standpoint, they've got 5 blockers for 7 guys in the box.
Yeah, if you're counting him, now they may try and do some kind of stick control here, but he's going to be late anyway
this guy.
because he's going to cancel the B from the backside. You know he's not going to run. Now, I would not advise this against a running quarterback.
Yeah,
because
you couldn't do this against Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, he'll do that. He'll step here. He'll come down. He'll run the stick, and then they'll read this guy. But they know he ain't going to keep the ball.
Yeah.
So he's going to sit. It's bubble. And then he's your cutback player. So you don't even need that extra. You don't even need Fred Warner.
Nope. You're still 5 on 6 without him.
Next play, we got 3-week buzz, curl flat route. Okay, I thought this was interesting from the Rams. They did a lot of this empty, I think Bama calls this tractor or trailer, where they put the wings close, even the running backs, and they would chip and then get out, which, I mean, I don't watch these teams every week, so I'm going off of what I see now. I don't know if this is a departure from what they normally do, but it was a good plan. You know, they chip here, and then they can get out in the route. This is just simple-ass curl flat, Hank, whatever you want to call it. All right, we see some 3-week buzz. Okay, listen, I was able to see, or I was not able to see, I was able to talk to somebody on the Chargers this week, and we talked a little bit about 3D. I know that Brandon Staley and D'Amico Ryans are not from the same tree. That does not matter. One of the things they said to me in 3D coverage is, and they even put it on their stuff. And they always talk about this. Okay. They want to play all their one high coverage like split safety. They want to fit it as much as they can like split safety. And you're seeing this. They're going to put him in the, he's your curl to flat player. He's going to be your weak hook player. I believe the Staley guys call this grab, where they put this guy out into the flat and this guy in the weak hook, which is good in the pros. This always made me nervous in the 4-2-5 because when you're a quarters team, this guy is always inside out and he has an overhang outside him, so he spill. But if you got like one back here, now he has to be your force player, and your Mike also has to drop weak, which is not what he's used to doing. But this is really great in the NFL. You want to get your weak hook defender who's got 3 up to be a safety, and that's what they're doing. Even with Fred Warner, it doesn't matter about personnel. Everybody says, oh, you know, I always said like Bobby Wagner from the Seahawks. This is why he makes $9 million a year, because he can play 3 up. It doesn't matter if you have Urlacher or Ray Lewis in their prime. It will always be better to play this shit from depth, especially on 3rd and 12. I know you guys can't see the numbers, but 3rd and 12 here, you can play this from top down. And then they do a little drop 8. It's not true drop 8. It's drop 8 in the sense that guys are dropped. There's 8 guys dropping. However, when you do a true drop 8 with a non-lineman, your spacing changes underneath. Theirs does not. He's basically just spying, looking for bullshit. This is not a true drop 8. And that's what I mean by that is you have 3 deep, 4 under with a bonus guy, right? If you're doing a true 5 under, 3 deep, you would see these guys buzz out, hook, you know.
The spacing is totally different in that case.
Yeah, the spacing would be different.
Yeah,
you know. So
I think I like this like versus empty dropping the guy. I feel like even though the matchup isn't great, you gain body presence on some of the weak side isolation because you're flooding the coverage to the trip side, and then you're basically playing 2 for 2 to the weak side,
which is always a pain in the ass.
Yeah, big time, and especially like that, you could create huge mismatches running backs on linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
So
On
it gives
stuff
you body
underneath.
presence. Yeah, it gives you good body presence on all of the like the option routes, all the little choice routes you're going to get on that weak side where they're just trying to ISO you one on one.
That's a great point. So let's talk about that a little bit. And as you guys know, we always start slow and then we pick up because you'll see a lot of the same concepts. So let's say this is a regular 3-week cover 6, cover 9, whatever, against empty. So he's going to insert down in the curl flat. He's going to be your thirds player. What Coach is talking about is this guy right here. He's your weak hook defender, right? Not in this play. I'm just talking about country ass, cover 3 against trips. Okay? He's your weak hook defender. What teams will do, and Bama calls it a bingo drop, but bingo is one of their trips checks, so I think some of the other guys call it bonus drop, is because they need him strong. They have to give, but they don't want to undress this guy, meaning he just buzzes out over here and they just throw a quick route inside. What they'll do is they'll drop him out weak to make it look like there's presence over here, and then they'll roll him back to the weak hook. And that is to do exactly what Ben just said, is to help defend those, because you're 2-on-2 if you don't do that. What this allows with this extra guy just chilling right here is, yes, do you expect a nose tackle to cover somebody underneath? And you'll see this a lot of times when people are like, oh my God, they're dropping a nose. How could they do that? They don't expect this guy to make a freaking crazy play. But it just puts a white jersey in a lane while this guy is going to end up running from his life most of the game. You know what I mean? He's sometimes, especially when a guy drops out like this, it's hard to see who's who in the heat of battle. You know what I mean? But you can see now, this guy doesn't have to drop over here, drop this way to deny this inside crap and then roll back. He can just play it from depth. And also, what also helps is with this chipping, they're not getting out as fast. So really, even though they're aligned and empty, you can almost treat this like it's either split backs or he's in the backfield and he's here because of the delayed release.
That's a good point too. Yeah. Yeah.
And I like I like how he locks onto this too. Like they're playing three deep. It's not 3 match, but they're playing heavy on the guys in their area.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, it's zone match, like once the route declares, go get it.
Yeah, but it's not. A lot of these guys, they say it's zone match, and it's not. There's
right. Yeah. When you listen to the install, you're like, okay, it's definitely not true zone match. But at some point, like the players understand, like, hey, I'm the 3-up player. Like here comes 3-up. I know I got to guard this guy.
Yeah, great throw, great catch, good defense. They just made a play, which they're going to. All right, here we go. I think it's our first sighting of double threes. I thought this was and I think some people call this the wide 9. Now, to me, and maybe I'm not as well versed on this, I keep hearing about this wide 9 defense. I mean, I know this goes back. This is not a new concept, right? But I keep hearing about this wide 9 defense. But to me, I just thought it was a 9 technique. Like I didn't know there was any kind of. Is there any kind of special thing to it besides playing a wide 9 technique?
I don't know a whole lot about
changes.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about it other than listening to Jim Schwartz talk about it at the Mushroom Clinic, talking about how, like against these big naked teams, like Peyton Manning did not like to turn his back to, I think at the time it was Vanden Bosch, in that wide 9 running up the field. He just didn't want to turn his back to him. He didn't know what was going to happen. You turn around running the naked, and all of a sudden you're getting smoked in the face by, an all-pro pass rusher.
Right, but there's nothing else besides him playing a wide, because people say the wide 9 defense, so I'm like, is there a special set of coverages? Is there a special set? It's just a wide 9 technique, right?
As far as I know, if it's something different, someone show me, but as far as I know, it's just playing a 9. And I mean, like this whole clip is pretty cool to me because it's 1st and 10. And look at these defensive linemen. They are in attack stance. They're in a track stance. They got staggered feet. They got their ass up in the air. They got their hands up. Like these guys are ready to just get vertical and attack. And like this is something, again, like if you try to do this in high school or college, you'd probably end up in a little bit of trouble. But this is one of the things that just fascinates me about the NFL game is you can play these techniques on 1st and 10. But like this whole defensive system is built around a disruptive defensive line.
Yeah.
Like that's what Robert Saleh is missing with the Jets right now. He doesn't have these horses. He doesn't have Joey Bosa, up front creating havoc for this scheme. Like he, you kind of need to run.
Well,
this
and that's what bothers me about the NFL with some of these guys. And I mean, like you said, like if I was at Sarah and I got under center trips, nub trips, and I played a wide 9, a corner force player, and a safety playing the C gap, I would have gotten my ass kicked up and down. They would have had to probably fire
and
my
rightfully
ass.
so. It would have been dumb.
Yeah. But here's what bothers me about the guys like Saleh and the Pete Carroll guys. They need certain players to play certain things, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, what happens when you don't play that? Oh, yeah, somebody said in the chat, Nick Bosa, not Joey Bosa. I don't know. I don't give a shit. I appreciate you pointing that out, but I'm so bad with the names. So what happens when you don't have those guys? So are you just going to keep doing the same shit and be like, yeah, we're going to do this defense. What, like look at the Browns. The Browns, Joe Woods worked for Saleh at the Niners. They run a similar thing. Well, they got Myles Garrett. Well, what happens when you don't have Myles Garrett? You're just going to run the same shit and hope that works? I mean, that's what bothers me about these system guys and the broader conversation with like Staley and some of these guys are like, this is what we're going to do. This is who we are. Well, great. That's why I love Belichick, and that's why, to me, Belichick will always be the GOAT. Back in the early 2000s, when nobody played the 3-4, he played the 3-4 because he knew that nobody was looking for those 4 techniques. He was able to get Richard Seymour, Ty Warren, Will Fork, 3 first-round draft picks, but mid to low first-round draft picks. Get those guys. Nobody was looking for those tweener outside backers. As soon as everybody else started copying his ass and trying to get those guys, what did they do? They went to a 4-3 when everybody went to the 3-4. Everybody now wants edge rushers. Everybody's always wanted edge rushers, but then everybody else wants edge rushers. So what does he do? He manufactures his pass rush with inside backers. And
put resources into the secondary.
If you don't want to get your ass fired. Now, I don't know much about the Jets. And to be honest with you, they may have been shit everywhere, right? There's no we're gonna hang our hat on this. We're just terrible everywhere. As an aside, Dean Pease needs a fucking award for what they pulled off of the Falcons this year for what he had. Besides, he had that one really good corner, but you know what I mean? But the whole thing, they don't have the horses to run the system. Well, then you better not run this system. You better figure something else out. And that's what bothers the shit out of me is all these Pete Carroll. I always talk about the multiplicity theory of Pete Carroll. It's like the farther you get away from Pete's actual tree, the worse it gets. If you're 4th removed from the Pete Carroll tree and you're trying to run his system without a backer that can run with 3 up and without a pass rusher, you're going to get your ass fired. You better think of something else. That's why I always have time for the guys like Jim Knowles at Oklahoma State, the guys at Cincinnati, who are we have these 2 monster inside linebackers that are bigger than our DNs. And they're badasses, so it's not like we can't play them. We need to play them. And they created a whole defense where they basically had a walking 3 technique.
Right.
They looked at what they had and they went, shit. And I understand pro football is different than college football. I understand you can do things at the college level you can't do at the pro level. I get all that. But you better find ways to make it work. Like Dean Pease said in that press conference when he got asked about why don't you pressure more, and he did that quick answer. We don't have guys that can cover. So if you want me to take guys out of coverage, he adjusted. They started running more spot drop true zone stuff, which he really doesn't want to do. I don't think.
And it's funny, at the end of the day, at any level, no system works without really good players.
Without talent.
Right?
But I mean the specific, we need a weak side rusher. Well, if you don't have a weak side rusher, what the fuck are you going to do?
Yeah, you better figure something out, Chief.
We're a Tampa 2 team, but we don't have a Mike that can run down the middle of the field. Well, you better not play. That's why I love Jim Leonard.
Yeah, you better not play much Tampa then.
You know what Jim Leonard did this year? They ran a lot of insert cover 3, more than he had in the past. Why? Because he had great inside linebackers.
Yeah, he did have some good ones.
That?
Yeah. Like you said, I think that's really the true genius of Belichick is just having a complete understanding of what he's doing and not being locked into any kind of system and saying, okay, what do I have? What can I create with this? And then also like this is one of the things that I want to learn more about is like you mentioned where he found a lot of value in players that didn't have a lot of value in the rest of the league. You know, the Ty Warrens, you know, the Richard Seymours, those big four techniques, you know, like the economics of building your team. Like everybody puts a huge premium on pass rushers, and rightfully so. You can't
Mm-hmm.
rush the passer in the NFL. It's hard to play good defense, right? But okay, I'm never going to have a high draft pick to draft Myles Garrett or one of the Bosa brothers or
And when they
whatever.
get him,
So,
sorry to cut you off, and when they get him, Chandler Jones, they let him walk right out the door.
yeah, you know,
He was
and
like,
like
bye.
yeah, and like you, yeah, that's a great point. Chandler Jones was not a high draft pick. He was a first round pick. Let's not,
Yeah, I mean, but
you
he
know,
wasn't.
confuse ourselves.
He
But he
wasn't
wasn't a
this
top
guy
10
right
pick.
here. He wasn't that
Yeah, yeah,
guy.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you know, again, like he let him walk right out the door. You know, understanding like, hey, I can be, we can be really good on defense without a premier pass rusher because I can scheme pressure, right? Like I can create pressure through play calling and scheme. You know, now I think that's harder to do with coverage. You know, certainly you can spend a bunch of time, you know, bracketing and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, I think, you know, like you can scheme and create pressure, but it's really hard to do that with coverage, I think.
Yes.
And then, you know, like the way he uses Dante Hightower, you know, a guy who
Oh
for
yeah, we've
like
talked about this.
so
Yeah.
many of the other teams in the NFL would just not have nearly as much value. I
No,
mean, like,
everybody's like, oh, he's. You know how quickly they re-signed Van Noy. Like everybody
right,
else is like, oh yeah, we'll take, you know, we'll take him. I mean, that's the thing is, and their whole package is designed around it. They had, I've said this before a couple times. They had bet when a training camp about 10 years ago. It was called Rush 54-0, and was basically we're gonna put Hightower and he called the stunts on the field. So they
yeah,
call in Odd Mac O, and Hightower chooses. We're gonna run Ram left. We're gonna run truck left. We're gonna run exit. We're gonna run hot cold, whatever.
yeah,
Totally agree. The thing that I don't like about this system is when this guy goes down, you're fucked.
right,
And I get that
yeah,
you have to have good players at every position. I get that. You need great players. But it's so reliant on that one guy. You know, what happens if Myles Garrett gets hurt? And I know you can't play, but everybody in the NFL is hurt at some point. It's just a matter of when.
yeah.
Anyway, we need to move on before we get stuck in this conversation. Answering a quick questions. Curious what you think about odd and even versus duo. I don't think as much about that as I do the edge stuff. I think defending duo has to do more with how you play your edges than if it's odd or even. Odd fronts would naturally be better, I think, because it's harder to double team fours because of the angles rather than guys in the gap. But that's just my uneducated guess. But I'm more worried about when you're defending duo, it's how you're playing those edges. Because that ball is meant to bounce. And then the question about Georgia. Georgia is a base nickel defense. And they use one of their outside backers. And they basically they build it from a 3-4, and then they'll either remove one of their interior guys and leave their outside backers on the field. It changes every year, but they're not a 4-3 team. They're not at all, and they in fact I don't even know if they have any 4-3 like true 4-3 stack concepts in their defense. They play some under, but they're a 3-4 that becomes nickel, and then on long yardage downs they'll run what they call rabbits, which is they put their best pass rushers in. Watch why that you kept seeing 95 coming off the field on third down, 98, 95. I don't know. Wyatt Davis, I think. I don't know. I don't know names. I know numbers. But anyway, shit, we're 5 plays in and we've been on for 48 minutes, so I'm going to roll. One question, though, I did see. What about NFLs do you think contributes to coaches being more locked into systems? I think it's in the NFL, people don't share information as much. I think also the NFL is a cover your ass league. Thinking outside the box, being creative is not the standard. Guys are worried about losing their jobs, losing their retirement, shit like that. I mean, look at Brian Flores. I mean, here's a guy, I don't think, most people don't think he should have been fired. I mean, I feel bad for a guy like Gerald Alexander, who was at Cal, went to the Dolphins, gave up his college career, does everything right. He's got a great corner room, and they did a great job. I mean, you couldn't have got much better than that. and then the GM and head coach don't get along, and they get canned. Now maybe they keep Gerald, but and I don't single him out, but that's what this business is fucking crazy. Anyway,
yeah, that's a good thing to point out as someone who just recently been let go. Like when the head coach doesn't get fired, when the head coach gets fired, everybody on the staff is officially fired, right? And then the new guy gets to make decisions on everybody. So there's like when one guy gets fired, it affects a ton of people in the building.
Yeah.
Like here in Denver, like it didn't work out, but there are some awesome coaches on the staff.
Yeah.
And now, through like no fault of their own, you find yourself unemployed, and that's the business, and it sucks. But, be a little empathetic with some of these families.
And I get fandom, and I get it. If I was the same way when I wasn't in the business, and then,
we all are.
Now I got a question in the chat. You mentioned Alabama's defense last. Will you consider doing a video breakdown of their defense? I would love to, but Catapult would come find me and threaten to take down my channel. So I do stuff on, I'm going to do a shameless plug, patreon.com/Coach Vass. We have webinars. We talk about all this stuff. There's cutups, there's everything. But if I came on YouTube and showed college film, I flew out the test balloon when I did the Ole Miss TCU breakdown, and I'm going to do next month, hopefully mid to end of next month, I'm going to do that Rose Bowl game I've been teasing. But I don't want to get too involved, because if you get too many strikes against your account, and they could do them all at once, I'd lose my account and they'll threaten to sue you. So as much as I'd love to, maybe I'll do it. I'm thinking about in the off season doing like I want to do the LSU Clemson national title. I want to do Bama, Ohio State. I don't like talking about the Georgia stuff as much because those guys are my friends. And like Wisconsin, like Jim's a friend of mine. But I could tell you anything you want to know about the Bama defense. I think Ben could vouch for that at this point.
Yep.
This is Elephant. This is 13 personnel. You have so you got 2 linemen here. This guy looks like the long snapper. I don't know if you really want to consider that a lineman. He's wearing an ineligible number, but we got a freeze. Okay, good. We're good here. All right, we got outside zone for a negative gain. They're just playing. They're fit and fast. Under center. It's interesting in today's game. You see teams that play stack, track, fallback, where guys will stack. They'll track the running back, and then they'll be ready to fall back. Versus everything, you'll see guys. It's much rare, but you see guys that will come flying downhill versus everything. And then you'll get teams that'll stack, track, fall back versus gun, and then versus under center pistol, they'll play downhill. The Niners here are kind of gapped out. I believe they're using this safety to play the C again. Here's your wide 9. You got a G and a 9. This is one of those things that in high school, if you did, you would get absolutely fired. I've seen it happen. But the Rams just get absolutely detonated up front. I mean, watch the nose right here.
Yeah, this is a really good clip of just like one gap defense, gap control. I'm getting downhill. It's one back. There's no pullers. It's a clear read, and we're going. And
Armstead makes so much of this right. He's about to get overtaken, so he's going to climb on the scoop. This is why offensive line coaches don't heavy scoop if you're going to scoop. You're going to let this guy go one-on-one. He's out here, which allows him to play backdoor. Ends up getting in there and making the play with Warner.
Yeah, he's a really good player.
All right, so we got 3rd and 9 at the 25. Here's a big gain. Cooper Kupp versus 1 high. We got a little bit of cover 1. Here's what was interesting to me. Early on, the Niners tried to play some 1, and they got roasted. And then at the end of the game, they were playing 1, and they were kicking the Rams' ass. Yeah. So I don't know if they just got their thumb out of their ass, or the Rams were getting tired or what, but they roast their ass here. But later on in the game, they do it, and they do a great job.
Yeah, this is a great route here this is Cooper Kupp catching this ball. Yeah. This is an awesome route. Great ball, great catch.
I remember next level.
This is why cover 1 is tough, because if your guys can't cover their guys, like, good luck.
So I was at a Next Level event back in 2015. Next Level was a sports company I work for, and we had Jim Kraft from Cal Poly, and we were just shooting the shit talking defense. And he said, "Remember this name, Cooper Kupp." And I was like, "Who's that?" And he goes, "It's the receiver from Eastern Washington. I've never seen anything like it." And you hear about these Division I AA guys or whatever, it's FCS. Yep. And you go, yeah, they're the next coming. Sure. And then I remember seeing him in college, watch him play. And so to sound smart, I tell everybody how great he was. And I thought he would be good, but Jesus, I didn't know he'd be this good. Here's the problem with cover one. And this is why when I watched Saban talk about this on the Michigan State film, I said, yeah, that Michigan State thing where he talks about cover one. You're playing outside leverage. You're trailing slightly because you're funneling the ball to the middle safety. Okay, and this is why this is so dirty and why teams do these releases. So as Kupp comes off the ball, I'm going to play low shoulder. I have help here, and I have help coming back over here, right? So I need to protect the outside and play underneath to undercut. So if he flattens off, I can undercut this because my help is here and here, right? So Kupp stems inside. I'm in my trail. Then he gets back outside. There's no way you can cover that. Unbelievable. Yep. Great job. Yep. Great throw, great catch.
Yep, that's not much you can do on that one. That's tough.
We got some.
Hey, you want another FCS player who I think is a straight baller is Mark Gronowski, the quarterback at South Dakota State. He did not play this fall because he tore his ACL in the national championship game last spring when they lost to Sam Houston State. But he was a true freshman last year, and we played him week 1 this year. And that kid is an absolute stud. Mark Gronowski. He's a
name. It'll be hard for me to forget that name. I think for obvious reasons. All right, so we got a little more double 3 action going on. The Rams are going to run stretch with a pulling tackle. So it's almost like truck toss. Gain of 1. I mean, this is not good, man.
Nope.
This is not good. This close to the playoffs. Where is 94? My favorite stance is 94.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at that.
I don't think he's in right now, but he's got a great stance. So, I mean, I don't know how much of a winning business model this is to have. I mean, you've got a wide receiver, and that's what everybody says about the Rams. Oh, well, they get the receivers to block. Okay. Yes, if you want to call that blocking, sure.
Yeah, good luck.
I mean, we can call that blocking. All right, here's the handback play. We got 13 elephant, 70 and 65 are in the game. Okay, so this is the play that McVay, he didn't develop. This is an old concept that Jim McNally used to talk about called scissors. Shout out to James Light for coaching me up on this play. So what you got here is, and this is actually the play. I don't know if you guys remember that the Bucs ran against the Chiefs. Fournette had that big run in the red area last year, like the high red zone in the Super Bowl. They basically trap everybody inside, and it's a designed wind back or they call it handback. It's a designed wind back with the receiver escorting the guy. Like I said, some people call it scissors, where they'll pull the guard. So, but it's known as handback, and this is the play that was meant to try to beat the tilt 6-1 defense. And I did a thing on the Browns earlier this year when they played the Vikings. Yeah. So if you're interested in that, but you'll see everybody block down. The back's going to jab step. The receiver's going to come around and escort. It's a decent little play, but I think it's only really good if you're getting a certain look. And the problem football is a simple game made difficult by coaches. The Niners are in a true 4-3 personnel. They have a 3 and a 9 versus all these bodies. These guys have 7 linemen on the field, and they can't block them. And the Niners are able to control the line of scrimmage with not a lot of people. I mean, look, the Rams have 8 people on the line right now, right? No, am I tripping out? Yeah, they got 8. Okay? Plus this guy makes 9. The Niners have 4 guys on the line of scrimmage. And what that enables them to do is if they can win the line of scrimmage with that many people, they can get guys flowing outside.
This is a nice job here by the 49ers defense. They do, like, look at this guy who's lined up in the post. Him and one kind of spin this on the motion.
Right, and because
But
this is the other thing that I hate with this, especially if this is what you're going to do. There's only one eligible receiver right now, and it's this guy. And he's right next to the tight. Oh, and I'm sorry, there's two. Higbee's there. My bad. There's two eligible receivers. And he's now a running back to me. Like, he's in the backfield. He's not a vertical threat
right.
unless he comes all the way out the other side. So, why do you need a post player? The one eligible guy is cutting off, so this guy can play him man to man. He's coming around. Yeah, this is just, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah.
What's the difference between stretch and wide zone? Depends who you talk to. I call outside zone, wide zone, stretch. Some people say there is a difference. Some people treat it differently. I don't, because I'm a defensive guy, and to me, they look very much the same. And you defend them very similarly, so we just rolled them into one. Here's another zone fit. 0 yard gain. Weak side zone. I mean, you're relying on
you're lacking up front.
I mean, look at this. This is terrible. Now, guys in the chat, you know better than I would. Are the Rams missing linemen? I mean, are they down? I mean, look at this.
Yeah, that's a real problem in the NFL because you only get so many active guys on game day, and this could be a product of injuries or something. But
this is actually really bad. They actually screwed themselves out of the play because they get so far into here, they end up playing the A gap with their ass, so the running back can't. I mean, where's the running back going to go? Right. And Warner just slips right behind it. Tackle for 0. All right, we got 3rd and 6 at the 15-yard line. We got a sack. The Niners are in a loaded front. Loaded meaning they have 3 linemen to one side and 1 to the other. This is a common way to get into 5-0 looks versus teams that run a lot of 4 down, and then they'll put the linebacker as one of the 3 techniques. Now, what gives away that this is going to be... Well, they actually back. I actually think they back out of this.
Yeah, they do. This is just straight 4-man rush.
Yeah, this is quarters. Yeah. What gives away that they're not doing funky shit is this guy is walked up away from the running back. Most of the time, you want to get that guy to the running back in case you got to cover him. So you knew either it was going to be a straight zone drop or he was going to rush and he was going to take the running back. Okay. They're going to bail out. It's basically a quarters check. What you'll see later in the game, they play quarters to empty, and it drives me insane. You get a post, a dig, a drive route, but they can't block the stunt.
Yeah, this is another one of them inside triangle concepts I talked about last week. Yeah, this is quite the rush here.
Look at these guys.
That's walking the dog right there. That's a great rush by 91.
He's so
We had a D-line coach who used to say, keep a high hand high and keep a low hand low. So, like, 91's rushing here and 70's got high hands. And so he just forks the arm up and is able to defeat the man by beating the arms. Right there. Lift them.
So this is me when I heard that Chick-fil-A was going to be on the way. And then this is me when they told me it was canceled.
Oh, crap.
So sad. All right, we got 3 deep zone. Get a little bit of hurry on the quarterback here. 1st and 10, 11 personnel. A lot of nub trips this game, motioning to and from. You're just going to see a deep out. This is a hard concept against 3 deep. This was one of the original routes that Saban said that he created rip lists for.
Yep, this is a tough one playing regular cover 3 here.
Yeah. But they actually helped themselves by condensing the split. I know why they're condensing the split. I mean, they condense their shit anyway, but now, even if you're playing match, you have to check this to a zone or else you're in trouble. I mean, you don't have to, but they just high-low the curl flat 90% player.
Of the time, even if you're trying to play rip Liz here, you're gonna check this to country 3 because of the splits.
I have a not sinking feeling, a sneaking feeling. They're doing shit based on where this guy is, and I'll show you a little later in the game. I think they were checking out a different version to cover 3 based on his alignment, and you'll see. Okay, somebody said, "What do you think about a four eyes and zero technique against wide zone?" I'm Jason. Can you clarify that question for me? All right, here we go. Next play, split zone fit. You got 2nd and 4. See, it's 2nd and 4. They're going to run split zone for a 0-yard gain. And this is, you can't win games doing this. You just can't. They're spinning down to 3 week. I mean, this is just, I don't know how they can win in the playoffs running the football. And I understand it's a throwing league, but, and you don't have to run the ball effectively to go play action. Oh, okay. Whatever, but I mean, look at this. They can't block. They can't block the Niners.
This is a good clip of fallback run fits here by the Niners. When the tight end goes back on the split action, everybody follows him. 54, 57, and 1. Like right now.
Right now, he's got the A. He's got the B. He's fitting in here somewhere.
Yeah, 27 is the nickel. He's outside of 10.
True, yeah.
94 is in the C, and number 1 is in the C because they're playing a 9 technique. But when 89 goes back, all of these underneath guys are tied on a string to him. Now there you go. All their gaps are moving just like that. That's a good example of fallback run fits and 8-man spacing right there. But I mean, this is just an absolute shellacking up front by whoever this defensive lineman is. I don't even know who it is, but I mean I don't even know what to say about that.
How about this? That's just,
I know that's awesome, man.
This is me when I drop my cell phone underneath my bed when I'm waking up and I knock my cell phone off the bed and it goes under me trying to look under the bed to find it. Yeah. I mean, look at this. They double. This is the other thing that irritates me about this O-line. They're always wanting to combo off. Like, listen, you guys can't block anybody as it is. You can stop trying to combo off. Look at this. Watch them combo, quote unquote, this guy. I mean, what are we doing here? Oh, yeah, just let him go. Okay, cool, thanks. I mean, what the fuck? And these guys, it's not like, okay, Bosa, Armstead, But the guys that are making a lot of these plays are freaking not superstars. Next, a couple plays later, I think this is the next drive. We got 1st and 10, 48-yard line, 11 personnel. Here's some counterfeits. So now they're running basically the scissors play. This is the type of shit that bothers me. They're running counter, but instead of pulling in tight end, they're pulling the receiver.
Look, here's the other thing, and I tell our DBs this all the time. Look at the way his feet are. He's got his outside foot up. Okay, that is not normal. If this guy's in here tight and he's got his outside foot up, it's for a reason. He's going back. It's a reverse. He's going to block counter. Maybe they're going to have him block split zone, but look at that. Normally, receivers are going to have their inside foot up, and so this guy gives it away right away. As soon as he lines up, he's got his outside foot up. Like, hey, man, he's not going to run a normal route in this. He's got his outside foot up for a reason because he's going back.
And this is great.
This I don't know if this is like outsmarting yourself trying to run counter with a receiver instead of the tight end. I don't know, but who is 18? 18's like, man, they just got me in the game plan just blocking my little ass off.
Yeah, plus he's got, like you said, his feet are switched. Here's the other thing. This guy blocks high, so he U-turns this right
here. He just U-turns the shit out of this.
Thank you. I'm not a huge fan. I like to cross face, but if you got a guy that can do that.
Yeah, and I get why they're U-turning because they're a get-off-the-ball team. Like if you're going to cross face, it's hard to tell a kid, like, hey, you're jetting up the field, but then you're going to cross face if he comes back. Like, if you're a get-up-the-field team, I think it might just be easier just to have him U-turn instead of trying to cross-face.
All right, file this under the if I did this, I would be fired. We got empty. They're playing quarters across the board, which already, I'm not a math major, but they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 deep, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 deep, and I know that somebody's going to run with 3 vertical. The problem is, if you have somebody run with 3 vertical, you get drained out underneath. You already got 3 guys underneath as it is. And I understand, they're chipping and releasing. But you can see it right here.
Yeah, this drives me nuts about watching some NFL teams play
Oh,
quarters with the trips check. It's like
so
it drives
brutal.
me it drives me crazy watching that.
And I get it's Odell Beckham, or is that Beckham
Yeah,
down here, or is this the Great White Hope?
I think that's the Great White Hope.
I don't even think Beckham's in the game. They got a good play. They got quarters beater on, so I get it. They run the option route. They try to suck him up. The throw back behind. They're playing real deep, aggressive on the post, and it opens up. But like that shit just irritates. Like, has anybody heard of Stubby over there? I don't
Yeah,
know.
that and I get it. Like quarters is not they're not a quarters team, right? That's like a big change up for them.
Hmm.
So it becomes a question of like time to task, right?
Well, they actually play
Like how
quite a bit of it.
did they? I know I commented to you about how often they played. Felt like in the red area they played a lot more quarters.
Hmm.
Um, and then like in the Super Bowl a couple years ago against the Chiefs, I felt like they played more of it than they played all year. But yeah, like Stubby's not hard to teach. Like I, it drives me nuts watching teams play 3-by-1 quarters with no trips check.
Irritating. We got a comment in the chat. This is really good. Eduardo Braga. I hope I said that right. Chris Kurishek, the Niners D-line coach, is considered one of the best in the NFL, and he's the one who brought the wide nine. All right, well, that makes sense. I mean,
Yeah, I know
um,
he's pretty well respected as a defensive line coach in the NFL. I certainly have seen a lot of
shit.
guys try to get his teach tapes, and
Here we
so
go.
like to me this was pretty cool here because this is actually hard to do on defense. At least I think they're playing cover three here, right? So
Hmm.
here comes the safety rolling down. When on this jet motion, everybody underneath, all four of these defenders have to bump, right? Their fits change, their pass responsibilities change, all on this motion. And then, it's like on paper, it's a good play here by the Rams because you got jet motion going one way. So look at everybody bumping one way. And then they're gonna use this cutter action coming back the other way. Of course, my man 18 here has got his outside foot up again, so something's up. So,
And he's
but this
turned
is
inside. That was the other one,
yeah. I
like on
mean,
the
look
far.
at look at his head. Look at where he's looking. Like everything about this just stinks of where
Yeah.
he's going. This is really good play. To me, this is one of the great things that the 49ers did in this game. They did a really good job bumping these fits, and nobody got lost. Nobody got confused. This is really hard to do, and I've done this in college where you bump three deep, you don't run with it, and
Hmm.
so like teams have attacked us this way, and for whatever reason, no matter how much we did it in practice, we really struggled. For all four guys to be on the same page, bumping one way with the jet motion, and then you got to play these fallback run fits when 18 goes back. So there's just a lot going on here, and the 49ers play it absolutely outstanding. Obviously, the back slips, but it's just really, really good defensive play here by the 49ers
Well,
in
and the
this.
thing that bothers me about this is like this is where just run power. Like you've got, I mean, I guess they're all bumped over, but when this guy comes across, okay, you have two double teams, and I understand Armstead and Bosa are really good,
Yep.
but you got a sixth lineman, so this is 12 jumbo, what I would call 12 jumbo or big 12. You have a tight end who I know is a glorified receiver. You got a double here on Armstead, and they can't move him. That to me right there. That to me right there. Now Armstead, I get. Armstead's phenomenal. Bosa versus the run. I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched enough of them to like give you some authoritative stance on this. But that come on, man. Again, another double team. You got a double team here that doesn't stay. A double team that doesn't stay on the double, and the guy gets in the backfield. How many times in this game do you see them double teaming people, and that guy makes the play?
Yep. This is also a good clip. I like this is a 20 is a corner, I think, and he's in here playing the run like a boss. I mean, he's knocking the shit out of this poor receiver.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the clips I remember thinking this really good job by the corner here in Cracker Place. And it's really not even Cracker Place. It's just fitting the run on the nub.
Right. Jason, you can definitely drop your Twitter in here, my man, if you want to get people talking on. Absolutely. Here's outside zone a few plays later. They're down in the red zone. You can watch them play some read zone. Where's my coverage? So this is just a too high quarters coverage.
Here's another great clip of the corner playing the run versus what ends up kind of becoming a quasi nub on this motion.
And I know that Cooper Kupp's a good blocker, but man, he got beat up a little bit in this game.
Yeah, that's just tough. That's tough sailing for wideouts in there.
Yeah.
But that's really good corner play there by number 4. I mean, he's an off corner playing quarters coverage, and he gets down here and tackles a nub side run for 2 yards. Like that's outstanding.
Next play, they set out the wide zone. Now they're going to run the boot. Great route fits here. They got a double in the tight end. They got leverage, top down leverage on the receiver in the flat.
Yeah,
Stafford
really good route
tries to
matches
run
here
it.
by the 49ers.
I mean, this is just a good fit right here.
Yeah, this is really good route matches here.
This is the other thing I don't understand. And again, I'm not Sean McVay. I'm not some genius. You have a guy who was looking at a historical receiving season. And this is when I think he outsmarts himself. Okay. You're going to use your all-pro, one of the best receivers in all of football, to chip the end and block on a boot play. Like,
Yeah.
put fucking 8. This is what drives me insane. Put fucking 18 here. And let 10 be the guy going. Like, I don't know. This is the shit that drives me insane about this guy. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even notice that.
I don't know if he's trying to hide plays if he's trying to lull people to sleep for the playoff. You know what I mean? Like this is the second time he done it. The first boot I showed, they did the same shit.
Right.
They had their all-world receiver chipping down on here. Put this asshole over here and do that.
Yeah.
He also needs to go short to deep. He needs to get this ball out to this dude right now.
Right now. Throw it right now.
They're doubled here. Uh-oh. We're experiencing some technical issues here. Oh, shit. The stream just died, man.
Yeah, it did.
I hope it's still... Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened here.
My screen says on the air, you're in the broadcast. We might still be going, and there's chat showing up. We might be going still.
I'm stuck on this play. Oh, that was bad.
Is it the little wide delay play?
Yeah, I'm sorry guys. That was wild because the internet didn't go down. It just went for a second. It wouldn't let me answer your call. All right, we're back. Okay. Whew. That was scary. All right, so let me make sure. Let me click on the. Let me make sure we're good on the. Let me check the stream here. Yeah, guys, I don't know what the hell. That was weird. Everything froze and just went black, and I was like, what the hell is going on here? All right, it says we're still live. That's good. That's a positive sign. I've never had that happen to me. I panicked. All right.
It looks like we're back up. Someone just said video back up.
All right. Let's try it again. Ooh, that was terrible. All right. So here, is this the one where he ran on the field?
I don't know. Man, here's one thing you shouldn't do as a coach. Run on the field in the end zone to celebrate.
Yeah, come on, man.
Unless you just won the Super Bowl or something, then go for it. But
this is a great play. 4th and 1, they're hunkered down. You got 13 personnel, 13 elephant on the field, as I call it. Nice dance. You got everybody coming downhill in conflict. Great play design.
Yep.
Let's see if we can see him from the sideline come on the field.
This is a great play call. 4th and 1. They're playing bear. They're completely selling out to stop the run here. I'm sure they're all counting on the duo play here. And yeah, great play call. That's a tough play to defend.
Let the ass kicking commence. All right, so here's the thing: the Niners weren't that bad, as you saw the first couple drives.
They've
The
done some
Rams
good
start their
things.
next drive at the 19-yard line. It's tough. I think this is the one where he runs in the end zones after this. I could be wrong. Split zone. I mean, this is again. It's too much bullshit. There's too much of this and coming around and faking all this crap, and they can't block. Like, I understand if you can't block them, try to influence them, but it's not working.
Yeah.
Like
And
what you're
we
doing.
talked about this play a couple weeks ago. This is a tough play because, we just mentioned how they're in these fallback run fits here in this 8-man spacing, and that now they get two guys go back. The tight end goes back, the receiver goes back. So technically, when you draw these fits up on paper, everybody's got to go back two gaps, not one. And so, like often the linebackers don't see the receiver going back. But again, this is just a straight shellacking up front. I mean, look at 93. I mean, this guy's just an animal in here. 2-3 techniques. He splits the double team and disrupts the play, and this thing goes for no yards. I mean, that's good for you, man. Good for you.
A lot of unblocked linemen. All right, here we go. Outside zone. Next drive. -1 yards.
Yeah, there it is again. Just more 3-week. Nice job. Yeah, they're just whooping them up front.
Also, what's with this scoreboard? It's like it's completely black. It's weird. It's black and it's not affected by time of day. I wonder what they're filming. This is unbelievable. And this was a team that was in contention for a bye week for a while, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
this is not good, man. I think there's too many holes up front for them to go far.
Yeah, I didn't realize their offensive line was like that.
All right, here's a clip. I think it's a blitz, but it's what people call fill and fold, which means you're going to bring one of the backers to try to puncture the play, and then the other one's going to fold back around. The opposite is what they call scratch and sniff. I don't come up with these names, but...
Yeah, we talked about fill and fold and scratch. Was that last week we talked about it?
I don't remember.
It might have been 2 weeks ago.
So what's going to happen here is the nose is going to go out here. Greenlaw is going to hit this downhill right now, which makes sense because this formation is really telling you the run's going to go this way. So you want to try to puncture this guy lock on here. You want to try to puncture this here, make the ball cut back, and that's the fold part of it.
In a way, you're kind of blitzing yourself into bear defense here.
Absolutely. And that's honestly what most even fronts are when you're blitzing. Like you're slanting the line, you're getting a guy off the edge. You could see them communicating right here. It's like, I think you're going, dude. All right, I'm going to go.
Yeah,
okay,
who
cool,
goes? Yeah.
Good. They actually run the ball the other way, so it ends up working out the same. It ends up working out the same way. He's going to try and overtake. They're going to go here.
Yeah, they're probably just cleaning it up because it's under center. They just want to make sure they got the rule right because they're under center.
And this guy is cutting the play. It's exactly what it is. And this guy cuts the play off, so it has to cut back. He is here.
54 is the free hitter on paper.
Yeah, so he gets shoved past by the tie. It's actually a pretty good jab.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it actually is.
But Armstead on the scoop beats the one-on-one, makes the play the line. Next play, we got 11 personnel, 3rd and 1, empty. You got mesh pyramid versus one cross. So mesh pyramid is you're getting mesh. I call this mesh pyramid. I don't know. And then you're going to get a guy sitting over the ball. Some people call it the Chip Kelly mesh. And then whether you get a wheel or not depends on what the team's doing.
Yeah, the way we labeled it is if they ran it like that, the way you just drew it, we just called that mesh. And then if they ran it with the wheel route, we would just tag it as mesh wheel.
They actually run the trailer here. So they got two guys running. Our offense ran this as a pain in the ass. So you got...
Yeah, double mesh, basically.
So basically, if it's one high, you're going to go to the corner. If it's too high, run the post. Some teams do it like that. I don't know. And then you get the mesh. You get a trailer behind it that'll stop and basically is an option route. So you're going to get him clearing. You're going to get him coming across, or one of these guys coming across. And then somebody's going to come outside and sit over the ball. So you get a 3-level pass here. They do a good job of fighting through. I mean, this is a linebacker and a running back. This is a good job. And this is a dead giveaway that something's up. Because whenever they've been in this shit before, this guy has been here.
Yeah.
And chipping and getting out. You can see outside leverage here with the corner. Because Beckham's inside. He's thinking, I'm going to inside release and then run to the corner. The Rat, 54. Going to fight through the trash. They're going to stay on, so they're not passing shit off here. So this is
really good recognition by 54. They must have expected this play, because this is awesome by 54.
Well, look at his hands. See him cross? He's saying he knows it's mesh.
Yeah.
And then, but they don't. This is not. I said it's one cross. It's not one cross. One cross is where the guy comes down and plays. This is just one rat, so I apologize. But they're not doing this shit where he crosses, he's gonna go and then come off, and then he takes him, and then this is what I call high school Harry cover one, which was what we ran, where it's man, and then you got a guy just chilling here, looking for the first threat, and a guy in the middle of the field. They're not gonna drop any crossers, especially at empty, because what are you gonna have 57 go robot to dig? They stay on it. Obviously, the biggest threat here is this matchup right here.
Yeah.
So, he knows it's mesh. Watch his hands again.
Yeah,
right there. He's saying cross.
I didn't see that. You're absolutely right. He's calling it out.
He
not only does he know it's mesh, he knows which way they're trying to run it. Good for him.
And he takes the first threat, so he knows Cup is there. He sees that secured. And then he goes back out and takes that. I mean, and I know that off the ball, my PFF brethren will say that off the ball linebackers aren't worth shit. I'm just like, okay. Notice all those good Seattle quote unquote defenses always had a good inside linebacker. Yes, we got a little regular ass twist game that gets fucked up here, but ends up working.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Actually, dude, you know what I think this is? I just said, dude, this might be Torch, because they both work inside first, so they might be reading the center.
At first, yeah.
I don't know that. No, because he's looking straight at the guard. I'm wrong, because he's looking. You could see that's a great thing about stripes on helmets. You can see what they're looking at. In fact, here's a high school tip, okay, for my high school brothers. If you have white helmets or you have a helmet color that does not have a stripe, during camp, put a piece of tape right here where that stripe is. So if you're coaching DBs, if you're one of these guys that likes to coach from back here, you can see where their head or their eyes are pointed based on this, where the stripe is pointed. Now, that's not to say that I can look, my head can be here and my eyes are inside, but when you're under physical duress in playing sports, usually your head's going to turn.
Yeah.
It's still just a simple inside game. Bosa wins off the edge, just wins a speed rush. Not really an athlete. What's Coach 30 say? Not really an athlete. I pissed down my leg.
Bro, there were Coach 30 business cards in like in the urinals in the bathroom. That was
AFCA.
Like
he was there.
I saw him in the hall.
How many guys? What's the over under the amount of guys that get all Davis?
Oh, I'm sure it was insane.
I do think it's funny. All right, so we got stretch here, zone fit, second half, 2nd and 7. Here's another 1 yard gain. We got 3 strong, so we're coming down. 3 sky.
Vass, do you think this is like a halftime deal where like they've played a bunch of 3-week and now they say, all right, now they're going to give us their best 3-week plays, so now we're going to play 3 buzz instead of 3 weeks.
Yeah, that could be. And they're still in nickel personnel.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that could very well be. I mean, I don't know why, because they kicked their ass so bad. I mean, maybe it's kind of you want to stay ahead kind of a deal. That's always the you've heard of the prisoner dilemma. It's the coach dilemma. Okay, you've been kicking the shit out of somebody, and you wanna stay ahead of the curve, but also it's like, how much do we change because we've been tapping that ass.
Right. Yeah. Like we're doing so good. How much?
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to outsmart yourself. So they're running zone weak. Here's a great look. So I said this before, but the problem with 3 buzz, if you're a 4-2-5 team, is again, these guys are used to playing inside out. Okay. When you get into the 3 buzz world and you insert strong or 3, it doesn't matter. Strong side rotation, buzz, sky, it doesn't matter. Okay. This guy has to now become a lever player, a force player. He's used to playing inside out on everything. Now, if you get zone, he has to turn the ball back inside. And that's the hard part about this stuff. But obviously these guys are pros and
So,
they spend a lot of time on this stuff.
so one of the cool teaching methods that I mean, I think everyone does it to a small degree, but our staff was talking to a guy who's with the New York Giants, RIP, and he was saying what they spent a bunch of time
Wait,
doing.
what do you
in
mean
their,
RIP?
they got fired today.
Oh, I didn't see that. I've been prepping
Yeah,
this.
they fired Coach Judge. So my guys
Jeremy
there.
Pruitt's gonna need. Fucking hell, dude.
Yeah,
Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
So anyway, so he was saying, they do quite a bit on defense, and so we were asking, how do you well, like, what's your method for teaching all this different stuff? How do you get it done? And he said, so what they do is they spend a bunch of time at OTAs and training camp, and he's like, we'll take everybody who plays in the back 7, so like anybody who's not a defensive lineman, and so like you'll spend a whole period of Indy, and we'll say, okay, you're a curl flat player in cover 3. It could be strong rotation, it could be weak rotation, but you're a curl flat player, and we're going to take you through our curl flat teaching 2x2 and 3x1. Okay, now we're gonna basically move you to a different station, and now you're gonna be the strong hook player. Okay, and so here you go. You're the strong hook player, 2x2, 3x1. Here's how you play it. Okay, now same thing for the weak hook player. All right, same thing if I'm vertical hook, or in Saban terminology, if I'm playing cut. Okay, here they would even teach them how to play corner techniques. Hey, I'm a cloud corner. Hey, I'm a Kathy corner. Hey, okay, now we're going to teach you fire zone. Hey, you're the seam player. Hey, you're the final 3 player. Whatever fire zone terminology you use. Hey, you're the seam flat player. You're the hot 2 player. You're the hot 3 player. Whatever. And so they would spend a bunch of time in the teach periods working all the back 7 players in all these different techniques. And so, you can get really creative in the scheme and put guys in unique positions because you spend a bunch of time in the off season working with them. Like, so like normally, you're playing 3 week, like you said, the safety gets a ton of reps playing that weak side curl flat, right? Or you're playing the 3 week buzz, the 9 grab or whatever, and so the safety gets a ton of reps playing the being the 3 up player, right? And so, but he's like, what we did is we took everybody in the back end, and everybody got reps at all these different things. And so, like, as we begin to create like different pressures and different looks and like different coverage rotations and like different ways to play Tampa or cover 2 or whatever, he was like, now we feel more comfortable, like kind of getting jiggy with it a little bit because, we've spent all this time
getting jiggy with it.
I sure did. That's really bad. I'm tired.
Go.
It's been a long day. I woke up at 4:00 this morning in San Antonio, and now I'm back here in Colorado. It's been a long day, but
I'll let it slide. That's one time.
I'm tired. But yeah, so and I thought that was great. He was like, and we get to spend a bunch of time teaching all these guys all these different positions, all these different techniques, so that like as things come up in the game plan, like, hey, we need to, like, I remember watching some Belichick film where they were rotating, they were inserting the safety based on where the running back was. At least that's what I felt like as I was watching it. Mm-hmm. And it's like that would be really hard to get done in 1 week, right? Like, because there's many different variables. I mean, that even for pro players, that would be tough to get done. But like if you had spent time in the offseason teaching them like how to play strong hook, how to play weak hook, how to play curl flat, how to be the 3 up player, like now you can get a little funky on game week because there's a foundation established of how to play these different techniques. So I thought that was something really cool that we took from them when we talked to them on the phone about like what they were spending a bunch of their teach time doing in the OTA portions.
Yeah, and LSU, Aranda famously does the same thing where they'll have circuits. If you go, I believe, to Georgia's camp, like high school camp,
yeah,
they have circuits where they'll be like, this is the strong hook, this is the weak hook. That's a very It's not exclusive to the NFL by any means.
No, not at all. I just thought like that's a really good way to spend like quality time teaching players different techniques, without like overloading them with the scheme aspect of it, and having to like I don't have to put in 25 calls, like to get all this stuff taught. I can teach it in small segments and then be like, hey, okay, today we're going to put this call in. And like, hey, you took a bunch of reps yesterday being the 3-up player. Well, guess what? In 3x1, you're the 3-up player. So here we go. Now we can go.
Well, and you'll see a lot. And what I meant was it's not exclusive to the NFL. Like some teams do with certain things, but with the NFL, you'll see a lot of this. We've talked about this with the Patriots, the Dolphins, that whole group. Maybe the Falcons. I know the Ravens do it first when they do their 5-0 stuff. They do the same thing. They'll teach they'll say X's on a chalkboard, and that's what Ben's saying is they'll say, all right, truck left is this, right? That's what they call truck, or some people call it tank left. Like Romeo Crennel called it tank left.
Yeah,
but you learn all the spots. So whether you're the 5, and that's how they get so much multiplicity with their presentations. It's just like learning a formation where to line up. So if we're gonna run shallow, 8 shallow, but we move people around, well, you know how to run a shallow route. It's very much like an offensive type thing. Well, I'm the H now. I'm going to run the shallow. So if you're Bama, and I forget the name of the formation, it's not Texas or whatever, but, they have formations where they'll flip the H and the Z. And so everybody learns all the routes. And there are some positions that, like, you're only going to flip the certain guys for certain things. Like, for example, the weak safety will never know how to learn how to play the strong curl flat. There's not much of a difference between the weak curl flat.
Right.
Certain formations, like for example, if your nickel travel team, the weak safety will never have to learn how to play versus trips.
Right.
Only if you're a team that expends or whatever. So there's some things that you may not, but at that point it's like, okay, why not learn it in case? And the other thing is it gives you not only scheme flexibility, but it gives you personnel flexibility where, oh shit, our weak safety is hurt. Let's bring our backup. Now that's maybe a stretch. Let's keep it between the positions like the deep safeties. So not only can you have scheme flexibility, you can have personnel flexibility where like, oh yeah, that guy knows how to do this, and Cameron Soren in the chat, they had creeper stations. So they would learn how to run, how to be the droppers. So you teach everybody how to do the strong hook drop from the line. Same type of deal. Now it's the same thing that Ben's saying. It's just you're doing it from the line of scrimmage. And they're teaching, and it's basically circuit teaching. It's very, very effective.
Circuit teaching.
So here's the zone fit to the weak side. Again, a guy getting double teamed making a play. That is the constant theme of this game. Just shed the ball.
I mean, that's
you can't.
But like you and I have both talked to people at Alabama and Georgia, and like, when you ask about run fits, like, do they have run fit rules? Absolutely, and they teach them and they talk about them and they rep them. But like at the end of the day, I don't even remember who said this, but they were like, look, we recruit run fits. We don't spend a whole lot of time teaching them. We recruit these players who can do this kind of stuff.
No. They'll get pissed if you say that. People outside the program have said it. They don't say that. Glenn Schumann will fucking throw something at you.
I
retweeted that one time as a joke, and I got a lengthy text from Glenn about how that's full of shit.
And I've heard him teach run fits, and they do an awesome job at it. The way in the different worlds that they play in, they have an awesome job, and it's no wonder their guys play at such the level they do because they're getting really good teaching.
By the way, this is a blitz. So from the backside, it doesn't look like it, but it is. The nickel's running down the line. Okay, here's a good one. Fire zone. This is called in this tree. This is called whiskey. Okay, so you're bringing a weak side or weak side fire zone. Okay, now whiskey is weak interior pressure. Versus 3x1. It's also in that Zimmer family. They also run the West call. It's coming from the weak side. Usually in fire zones. So what you're going to get here is you're going to get this kind of overload. Okay. Somebody's going to go, I believe, from this look. I believe it's going to be here, 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 and they're going to bring the safety. Oh, shit. Actually, I don't exactly remember. We'll see in a second. But the concept is, usually when you're bringing 2 from this side, you got to drop a guy in coverage, right? In fire zone. Well, in 3-by-1, if you're bringing it weak, what they'll do is they make what's called a poker call. So actually, let's start with normal whiskey. Okay, so normal whiskey would be, I am thirds, hot to 2, hot to 3. I'm chilling over. I'm hot to 2. I'm the weak, final, whatever. You're 4 to, Jesus, I can't. 4 to first crosser. Damn it, can't talk. Which really is a little different for fire zone. I'm gonna bring a piece in here. I'm going to bring this, I'm going to bring this, I'm going to bring this, and I'm going to bring this, right? A guy containing off the edge over here, but the end is dropping. This guy's going to play in the post. We're locked backside. That is whiskey. That is, a lot of defenses have that in there. That is not a new concept. Okay? However, verse 3-by-1, what they'll do is they'll bring the end still. So they'll bring the end. They'll rush this guy. They'll keep the pressure, so you get the 4 weak, right? And they'll have the backer be the hot player, and then they'll just peel on the back. And what this enables you to do is it enables you to rush 6, but still play fire zone. But really, from this side, if the Mike, which he'll do anyway, if this guy's your hot to 3 player, and he, let's say, I mean, this is screaming out drive to me, but whatever. Something coming here.
Right, yeah.
Again, I don't remember this play, so I could be completely wrong. But these cut splits and everything, he's off the ball. He's bringing space to buy space for him outside. Usually when 2 is on and 3 is off, that is what's going on. But you never know, okay? My point is he's going to wall off anything in here. I'm playing man-to-man. And the way that we're going to control the back is the back has 2 decisions. If he comes across, the blitz is coming home, right? If he steps up, one of these rushers will end up taking him. Okay, and if he flares, then this guy will take him. But what enables you to do is enables you to really rush 6 and still get fire zone 3 over here. And really, you want to run this a lot, especially if you know the back is going to block. Because you're going to add, it's basically adding on anyway. And there are some teams on week, and I'll say this. There are some teams that are really good in college football, and what they'll do is they'll run creepers, and they'll make an ad call. So let's say we're running a creeper. We're only rushing 4. We're dropping 7. So let's say they're going to go here, 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 and bring this dude, right? They will run a boundary pressure, and they'll add a hug or an ad call, which technically it's supposed to be 7 dropping 7, rushing 4. But because this guy is dropping off a guy who's going to block, they'll just add him and basically green dog him, even with creepers. So I think this is a little interesting concept. So you'll see this here. Okay? Sorry, that was a long explanation, but this is probably the most, to me, this was the most interesting call in the whole thing. They use Warner as the nose. So Warner's walked up here. So we got 3 down. 3 linemen. You got linebackers. I believe this is a stand-up lineman. They're in nickel personnel. They got 2 on the back. Can't block it. Ball's got to come out. So you did not get drive. You got double in. I knew I when I said it was going to be drive, I saw the split. I'm like, I'm going against my own advice. But you can see a free shot on Stafford. The ball has to come out. I mean, he throws it pretty much on time, but Van Jefferson drops it, or it's a bad throw. We'll see it from this angle. I also like what Warner does is he kind of sells this and then goes. I can't stress this enough. If you're a high school coach or a college coach, and you're like me, and you sentence structure words. So for us, this would be like, boundary G Army or boundary G aim, where these guys are slanting. Add the word jab onto your calls. So in 3rd down situations, you're just not ripping off the bat, because that's the stuff to run, where you kind of freeze here for a second and then go. That will freeze this guard, and then he will stay really heavy on this, opening this up. Also, if you run spike 1 rat, same deal. where instead of just doing this and you're bringing the backer, have this 3 technique jab and go. That will really pull him down inside. You can see it here. Warner does the jab. The guard's going to lock on. You got 2 off the back. Now you don't have to have Armstead can play a G, which will really pull that center's vision because it's hash slide, right?
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be a 3-2 split. So slide this way, slide this way, slide this way, slide this way. Back's going to insert. Okay. If you play Armstead, if you play a G and a 3, the center will still work this way, but you'll get this guy, and you get the same effect. But what this enables him to do is this enables them to really show this look. He is able to stay in here where he doesn't have to contain because you're keeping this guy added on here.
Is this called to the back, Vass?
No, this is from the split inside. This is a split inside call.
Okay.
This is the whiskey. So they got Scotch and whiskey. Scotch to the strength, passing strength, whiskey's away. And sometimes they'll package them where if it's 2x2, it's Scotch. Sometimes it's whiskey weak. But this is actually what they call it, and it's called poker. The poker call tells him to stay in the rush. Only the 3x1. If this was 2x2, he would drop.
Yeah.
Or if you just called it normal. Like if this guy was a big threat to, I mean, if number 3 was like, hey, we need this guy over here because we want him to match this and still bring the blitz, and we want to get him over this way, so we want to have him wall, or you're not worried about Cooper Kupp running a shallow route with a DN matching, you could also do that. But you get a 6-man pressure with fire zone coverage, ball comes out, 4th down. We got a boot next play. Sorry, that was a long one, but I thought that was really interesting. So we got cover 3 boot with a sack by the Niners. Not really an athlete. Pissed down my leg. I just wanted to say that. I really enjoy that. Is this another Cooper Kupp blocking sighting? Or is he running the route? Is this the Great White Hope down here? I can't tell. Oh boy. I want to see who this receiver is. Ooh. Yeah, this is what drives me insane.
Yeah.
Like why? Why?
He's way smarter than me, but I don't know.
I don't know about that. I love this. 93, the D tackle who's doubled. The line is just standing there. Then it kind of let it. I mean, here's what I don't like about the Rams is their effort is shit. How many times have you seen a guy double? And it's not like, I'm fight. Oh my God. They just leave him.
Yeah, it's happened more than once.
There's no urgency. I don't know, man. They got the best receiver in the NFL this year statistically. I keep hearing the Triple Crown, like he's a goddamn horse. And this is what they're doing off of this. I understand it's 8-man protection, 2-man routes, and they got good players, but Jesus, man. Actually, it's a little bit of a bust by the Niners, which should happen if you're going to have the middle safety take this over route. This corner has to climb to play the post and replace. So they get away with one, but it's just fucking irritating. I don't know. Whatever. Let's watch this one more time. I just like when 94 comes in the game because he gets in that crazy ass stance.
Yeah, that stance is awesome. I love it.
2nd and 16. We got a screen. So this is the first time you're going to see split safety. Well, first time we're going to watch it. Split safety, cover 8. For those of you guys who don't know, this is a Fangio type deal where they're playing half, quarter. It's usually done in the NFL because the hashes are narrow, so you can play cover 2 much easier to trips, which you would not want to do in college or high school where the hashes are wider and the half safety would have to cover way more ground. They show like they're coming down. I don't know if he's telling them to bonus over here or for what reason, but he's coming down to tell the linebacker something. And then he busts out of there. They're playing quarter, half. They try to throw a screen to the back. It's a bad throw. I don't know if the D-end affected it. This guy, and listen, I don't know. I might be grasping at straws, but this guy's got to be told almost every play what to do. I don't know if you noticed that or not. Like Warner's always telling him. I mean, I don't get it.
Yeah, I did notice them having to communicate with him a lot. I don't know if he, and you know, like you talk to guys in the NFL and they're like, yeah, he didn't practice all week, but
That's
he's going
true.
to play.
He might be
And
on the
it's like,
COVID list. You never know.
right, yeah, that's tough.
Okay, we got empty with only one guy close now. Well, no, they got two. They're still chipping. So they're chipping. This is 3 buzz week interception. Again, this is where Stafford needs to get better here. Well, maybe not. Maybe that's unfair in this play. I understand it's 3rd and 16. You're trying to push the ball down the field because normally you'd say throw the swing, but it's 3rd and 16, so I get it. They're running curl flat. Okay, you see the corner. He sees, even though it's trips, we know up to this point this guy's not releasing flat, so you can treat him like a running back because he's only going to chip and kind of sit over the ball or chip and go out to the flat. These two are very much like running backs. Obviously, that is a running back, but
Yeah.
I would treat this as split gun because I haven't seen them once snap the ball and go vertical. Except I'm sorry, that one mesh play I think they did. But they weren't all in tight. Like, I don't believe that he was attached like this. So the corner does a good job here. He's playing outside. He sees one go inside. He's going to climb. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The safety makes the play. Ball hangs up there. He stares it down. I mean, he gets the ball. He looks weak. He looks there. Great play by the safety. Hangs it up. He's able to make a play way outside the divider. How about the man on the field with his helmet?
Yeah, look at my man on the field with no helmet. Love it.
Does he run on the field? Oh, shit. Did this get called as a penalty? I don't see any flags.
I don't think so.
I see somebody pissed on the sideline.
Yeah, somebody realizes late and is like, oh, I'm the get back guy. I need to get his ass back.
We almost lost the game with Sarah, so we line up to kick a field goal. St. Francis lines up to kick a field goal. It is 40-37, I believe. That's not what I wanted. 40-37.
Played good defense that night, huh?
Dude, we were 1-4. They were 5-0. They were 10th in the state.
Oof.
They had 260-pound fullback. They had Cyrus Habibi Leakio that went to Oregon. It was now Boise. Was the running back. So
I remember him.
No, it wasn't. The game ended 40-37. It was like 37-34 or something. We line up for a field goal. We block the field goal. They line up for a field goal. We block it. First 5 games of the year, 4, including the scrimmage, 4 of the teams were in state games. The only team that wasn't lost to De La Salle to go to the state game. They were like a combined 60-6 or some shit. So we're 1-4. We end up rattling off 10 games, losing the state championship by 2 points. But we blocked a field goal. Our quarterback, who's the best quarterback in the history of Sarah, including Tom Brady. I'm talking about high school quarterbacks. Tom Brady was a great high school player, but he is not what he is now. He was not what he is now. Okay? He's a very good player, but he was tall, had a giant arm. I'm talking about high school quarterbacks. I think anybody that knows Sarah would say that Lecky Nunn is the best quarterback that Sarah's ever had in high school. He's on the sideline. The ball's rolling. They run on to celebrate. He runs and just fucking kicks the ball. Like a soccer player. Like tries to boot it in the stands. Flag. They line up again. They make the field goal. So we go to OT.
Oh, no.
We stuff him on first. Stuff him on second. Third down, I think I hear 21 personnel. So I call 4 week to try to get in their face. I'm thinking it's pass. It's 3rd and 8 because there's Kansas City tiebreakers from the 25 and Texas from the 10. I think those are the names. So this is 10 and in, not 25 and in. It's actually 23 personnel. So I mishear the call. They run counter strong from a 4 week pressure out of too high. We had some crazy pressure. They score. They walk in. They hit the extra point. We score. We go for 2. We jump. We false start. So now we got to. So Lowe's like, fuck it. We're going for it anyway. So now it's 2 point from the 8-yard line and we get it to win the game. But the only reason we were in that situation is our quarterback, Mr. Sarah, runs on the field and just Pele's that some bitch out into the Gatorade coolers. It was so bad. And the play is still going. He runs on the field and just oh my God. I thought Patrick was going to kill someone. Anyway. That's story time for the day.
Yeah, that's
Oh
not going to
shit!
go
Look at all the
over.
coaches
Yeah,
on the
they're all on
field,
the field
and
too.
there are no flags.
Nope.
Wow.
That's like, the strength staff's going to get ripped for that on Monday. Like, hey,
Oh,
man,
for
aren't you guys supposed to
sure.
be the backup guys? Like, what the hell? I I think that's hilarious too. That some of these coaches need a dedicated strength coach to stand behind them and grab their pants and pull them back onto the
I
field.
can't really say anything because that's me.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, what? Okay, I get like from time to time that's going to happen, but like some of these guys need it every stinking play.
So this is the same. This is the same play. Yeah, I can't really. I have no room to talk. This is the same play as before, but the slot receiver's reading that it's middle of the field high. Or middle of the field high. Yep, middle of the field open. So he's going to run a post instead of a curl. Playing tech. They're starting to play more too high. They got a tech stunt going on, pressuring the quarterback's face. Stafford steps up right into the pressure. The Niners just did such a good job up front. You got Armstead as the 3 technique.
Yeah, they're just.
I mean, they hold it for long enough. Just nobody's open, really. I mean,
yeah, he's what 1, 2, 3 hitches and
yeah,
ball's got to be out.
we had a bust here for a big game. We got 3-week buzz, so I always show good, bad, and ugly, unless it's just a complete domination. So we got a 3-week buzz. So he is inserting. He is taking the flat. You'll see the bust here. It's not really a bust, but this is why I hate spot dropping coverage. So
yeah, like to me though, the corner's got to squeeze this. He's got one vertical threat.
True.
And it's like the Rams run how many of these concepts? Like a ton of these. You know they're trying to high-low these underneath defenders. Like when you get this one vertical threat, you've got to squeeze this. It's the only work you can.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. When you're right, you're right.
That's how I see it. At least.
Here's pirate. This is inverted pirate. So you get the 3 technique containing weak. Great throw. There's great Stafford and bad Stafford. That was great.
Matt Stafford, when he throws it like that, man, that is impressive.
Yeah. We have this, what I call the spear concept. So you have a deep over that turns into like a choice route. He like just sits it down. So you have this and you have this buzzing out here.
Man, Mike Bobo used to run this. He called it the pressure route. And it was like,
oh yeah, I've seen that.
He would do it for teams that would like jump the over route in quarters, and then like you could either, depending on how the quarters guys played it, if that safety's driving down hard on Cooper Kupp, you could throw this big over his head.
Mm-hmm. So what should happen here? I mean, because this is just open. Matt just doesn't see it because he's booting. He's boot. I don't understand. Can you explain to me why this is a boot and not a straight play action? Because you're booting, but this guy's running away from it, right?
Yeah.
Isn't this supposed to be like a shot play? I mean, where's he supposed to throw to?
Maybe it's not supposed to be a boot, and it just turns into one because he sees something in his face, or I'm not sure.
No, he pulls out. I mean, I guess the guy's running around, but yeah, you're right. Because
if he pulls up, he's going to get absolutely smoked.
Yeah, you're right. He buys himself some time. Because I'm like, what is he booting away from? I just thought it was interesting that, and I saw this in the Sark stuff with the pressure, but he just kind of sits and just finds grass and throttles down.
Yeah.
But you'll see a lot of teams, what they'll do is, TCU does a good job of this. So he'll squeeze this, and he'll end up taking this. And then this corner will take this guy over here, and it's crazy. Like some of the adjustments off this 3 deep shit is wild.
Yeah, it is, and you gotta spend time repping that stuff too, because everybody's got to be on the same page with that, or someone's gonna be wide open.
And this is where this 3 deep shit's great if you have a guy like Bosa.
Oh, no question.
And this is why the Niners simply just weren't as good last year on defense. I mean, I think.
When you miss a pass rush, especially playing, spot drop cover 3, you better get after the passer.
It's just
if
like
you don't,
Tampa
someone's
2.
going to get open.
It's just like Tampa 2.
Yeah, if you can't, like all them great Tampa Bay schemes, but look at how many Pro Bowl, Hall of Fame, Ring of Honor inductees they had playing on those teams. Like you could have played almost any defense and they would have been great at it because of all the great players they had. But if you're going to play Tampa, you'd better rush the passer
So
with
you got
4 guys.
stack cover. It's just quarters. I call it stacks versus stacks. You got in out. He's got the first outside. He's got the first inside, first outside, and then these guys will take first outside to the flat. Nothing earth shattering here. The corners now up here will sail technique. He's gonna split this.
Yep.
Which makes me think it's almost like quarter, half. But this guy, it may be quarter, half. But sometimes the variations are so small,
right?
You don't.
Yeah,
know.
Sometimes it is hard to tell.
94's in the game. All right, this guy's my favorite.
Love it. Who is 94? Do you know who that is?
No, I don't remember.
I'm gonna look it up on another screen.
I know he doesn't play a whole lot, so I remember looking for him when he was in. He's just awesome.
I'm gonna look this up because I want to know.
We got another sack. The next play is a sack. We got a 5-0 twist incoming. We got some 5-man rush, so they're in a 5-0 look, loaded front. So you got 3 down here. Did you figure out who it is?
Yeah, the guy's name is Jordan Willis. He's from Kansas State.
Interesting.
6'4", 270.
You got the back. Thank you, Sandra. Hello, Sandra. So we got 5-0 here. Backer, Greenlaw's got the back. Their backs are not really pass catching threats anyway. That's the last thing you got to worry about in this offense. They're going to run a twist here. Get pressure. He steps up, gets his ass kicked. Coverage is great. This is what I mean. Early in the game, they're getting schooled. So Cup actually, he's running a corner route this time. Here's what's interesting. He's running a corner route now. Instead of taking the inside release and getting out here, he sticks it outside off the bat, which makes his life a living hell. I'm not really sure why he does that. But now they're sticking to him. It's weird. Usually teams that play man, they get spooked and then they don't come back to it. The Niners actually come back to it and do a good job. Plus protection. So they 5-0 this, don't they? I mean,
it looks like 5-0.
Because they're playing man because he's staying in, he's setting on him, he's here, he's on. They're gonna double him or chip here, and then get out. When you 5-0 this or man this up, now you got to man up these twists. And you got to stay on it. 63 has no shot. Get them on different levels.
It's a really good rep by the 49ers here.
You can't block this. I mean, it's really hard.
Not when you execute it like this. Once you get them on different levels, you've won.
It's over.
It is. That's awesome. That is awesome.
Sandra says, my son plays football and I'm trying to learn it and I have only heard good things about you. Well, I guess you talked to the right people then, Sandra. Welcome. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. All right, so we got 13 elephant here, outside zone. So what's the scoreboard? All right, so we got middle of the fourth. It's tied. I mean, here you have jumbo personnel, 13 personnel. The Niners in a 4-3 defense, and they get this shit pushed in for -2 yards. Same play as before.
They're just in the backfield. I mean,
it's
look
insane.
at that. Like that's how you attack the stretch play. Get vertical, man. Don't try to run sideways with that crap. Get vertical, cut it off. Man. Oof.
93 is a beast.
Yeah, that's really good.
I don't know how he's been all year.
And you know what's scary is didn't the 49ers have DeForest Buckner that they traded to the Colts?
Yes.
And that guy's a beast too.
Oof.
Man.
Bus is like he's down.
97's
Here's quarter, half against 3-1. We got 2nd and 12. He's got a 6-yard completion here.
Again, this is quarters with no trips checks. All right, so the Mike's got to take 3 down the chute, which I just hate. I just hate it so much.
Yeah, I guess their thought process. So they haven't been running a lot of 3 vertical, and I think this is why they maybe started doing it.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, we haven't really seen 3 down the chute very often here.
But I mean, after the way they've been defending it. This is a good rep right here. They just check it down to the back. I mean, and so Donovan, my issue, Fred Warner's outstanding. My issue with him running with 3 doesn't have to do with that he can't do it. It distorts the undercoverage. So when he does this and he runs out here, now he's got to take 2 back inside. That leaves him on an island. It makes me nervous. I don't know, especially if you're in run pass kind of like they are not here. This is clearly a pass. It's not. Believe me, if anybody can do it, it's Fred Warner. It's just something that I don't like. I'm not a huge fan of structurally.
Yeah, it's not that he can't do it. He certainly can do it. He's an awesome player. But Coach is right. It distorts your underneath coverage so much. It creates so many rule breaking situations and too many goofy if then situations.
That's the thing, Donovan. If you were like, hey, that guy's got to cover him, I'd put him on anybody. I just don't like what it does to everybody else. Sandra, are you Bay Area? Does your son play football in the Bay Area? I'm a Bay Area guy. I figured maybe you're not in the Niners fan. Oh boy. All right, this is outstanding by the Rams. Okay. So you got cover 1. What school? You got cover 1. You got a slot fade. Let's watch the front end. We got empty again. So now you got, let me see this. Where do they got the tight end? I think they started moving the tight end. Aptos, no way. JV head coach Zach Hewitt's one of my very good friends. Small world.
Is the tight end at number 1 up there to the field?
Yeah,
Is that Higbee?
Yeah, okay. I was trying to find him. So you got a slot fade from number 3. This is a nice little concept right here. They run a return route. They get the slot fade against 1. Great throw, great catch. They protect it long enough. I mean, this is crazy. He's look at him in this throw. This is
really good.
I mean, he's about to get detonated.
Yeah.
Great route by Cup. Great concept. Love it.
When Stafford's on, he might still be the most physically impressive quarterback in the league.
Mm-hmm. How many beers do you think he had last night after watching them dogs? Oof.
Oh.
I mean, look at it. Look at this, right? Oh shit. That is not great. Oh. This guy can't believe it. He's like, holy shit. Okay, I got a question for you.
All right.
This is the LA Rams, right?
Yep.
Why is Kurt Warner's number not retired?
Oh shit, that's a good question. I don't know. Is it the St. Louis thing? Like, okay, like the same situation come. So I grew up in Houston, right? The Oilers left and went to Tennessee, right? So F them, right? But like same issue there. Like, do the records carry over? Are the
yeah? I mean, they
numbers?
originally started in LA, so I'm guessing. And do you think they would have retired it while they were in St. Louis?
Yeah.
There we go. Here's an outside zone play again. Now you got straight 11 personnel. So now they're thinking, well, maybe we can run it out of 11 so they won't get in 4-3 personnel. That ain't the problem, Chief.
No.
Andrew Whitworth is great. Well, actually, he does a decent job here reaching this guy. That's holding. I mean, he's literally his hand is wrapped all the way around to the opposite number, but it's never going to get called.
Look at you want to talk. Okay, so like we have philosophical discussions on how to build a defense, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm big on like you need guys who can run and guys who can hit. Look at 57. Like, this is just see ball, get ball. I'm a linebacker. I'm going to run to the ball and just hit the guy.
Always enjoy these blocks, too, when they shove them into the play.
Yeah.
63 reminds me of one of those guys that has to eat like 6,000 calories a day to stay big.
Yeah. He'll get out of the league and lose 80 pounds and no one will
he'll be like
believe
Joe
he played
Thomas.
in the NFL. They'll be like, come on, man, you did not play in the NFL. Shut the hell up.
Yeah, they'll be like, no, look, he'll be carrying his card around. Peep the film. Where are you from? East Bay. Sorry, I'm nerding out. I didn't think – I mean, I should have thought California Niners would have drawn some Bay Area people. Great throw. Touchdown here. We got some cover 1 down by the goal line. Some
they get. I mean,
triple
they
wrap
do a good
basically.
job.
Oh, no
they
way.
identify
Castro
it here.
Valley.
But they put the back out wide to see who goes out to cover him to help Stafford identify the coverage.
Another corner out from the 3 position by Cup. The corner tries to peel off late, knowing that Higbee ain't going to get the ball. Great throw, great catch. Not much defense for that.
Yeah, that's tough. When they execute like that, that's tough.
Well, I'm sorry, it wasn't from the number 3 position. He actually is the number 1. I'm sorry.
Does he come inside and that does it?
He's the outside. He actually stems in and then goes out.
Good for him. Huh.
But it all starts up here, right?
No, yeah, no doubt.
Pete, I was the number 4 employee for Next Level. It was Patrick, Lance, Chick Walsh, and then me. Those were the days. Great throw, great concept, just great everything. Awesome stuff. All right. Here's the problem. Well, no, we're not here yet. All right. Again, 13 elephant, 3 tight ends, 2 of them which are linemen, inside zone, 2 yards. I mean, I don't know. I'm beating a dead horse here, but you're just not going to win many football games.
Yeah, they're just getting beat up front.
Getting their ass whipped with the H. They're getting it so bad you can hear the H in whipped.
Whipped.
Yeah. Actually, they actually don't do a bad job here.
No, they actually get it blocked. Yeah, there's nowhere to run the ball. I mean, yeah, that's just really good defense.
So we got 2nd and 8. Here's another outside zone. We're still 13 elephant. So this is really the end of the game. It looks like they're trying to run the clock out. I mean, they're not taking shots, although some of these plays are handpicked, but these were all back to back to back. Again, you're in 13 jumbo and you're only getting 1 yard on your base run. Like, that is not good.
Yeah. And they're running it to a team that's playing.
Oh my God, look at this. I mean, this should be overtaken and up to the next level. Like, look at this. Woo! No, Donovan, no. I think they're going to get their ass kicked. If they have to play anybody with a line like the Niners, it's over. All right, so 3rd and 7. They're like, let's take this to overtime. So they're going to run the handback play again. They're going to get 2 yards on this. Still got 13 jumbo with Cup as the wing. I mean, look, just watch 94 right here. Watch my man. This guy is a sprinter DN, okay? He is not playing the run. No, I don't give a shit what you give him. That son of a bitch is in there. He looks like he's about to jump off the screen. And he walks the tight end back. And I know, look, you're not doing a lot of great being all the way up the field. He does make the run bubble, but you're running your one play. I mean, they had like one explosive run over 15.
Yeah, that's tough there. I love it. Another good run fit by the corner. I mean, he doesn't make the play. He kind of makes a little business decision here at the end.
Yeah,
but he does a good job forcing it back.
Okay, so I guess it's now 1st and 10. They get the ball back again, and they decide now they're going to throw the ball. It's just this whole thing was really weak, or really weird. Here's 3-week buzz. This is actually really good. Look at it, because this does not look like 3-week. I think it becomes 3-week buzz when they go out to empty. They got the loaded front. They run a twist. Sack. We got Y cross.
I'm a little surprised at how many times the Rams have come to this same concept here in this game. I mean, obviously they've tagged it. They got the corner and go now instead of they've been running flat 7 like to this 2-man side a bunch, and now it's the 7 and go.
Yeah, the cop. Yeah.
Yeah, but like to the 3-man side, they've run this little route concept a ton.
Okay, this is what I because I'm a weirdo. I like this. So you load your front, but you put your best guy over here. You put him away from the load. Because these guys are like, are you sure you want to slide this way?
Yeah.
Because one of these guys is coming back. This guy or this guy to balance out the rush. 3 things can happen. They can bring somebody here, which they're not going to do. Then you can't, or they'll go here and balance out and rush through here. Or they'll run this. Or somebody. It could be this guy coming. With his width, I would say no. And that's right. Also in the chat, Donovan says, doesn't help when you have to go silent at home.
Yeah, that's not good.
That is
I
not a
think
winning business model.
I think sometimes Vass, when they do this, I think they run stunts based on what 63 does, like the guard to the open side, like which way he goes. I think sometimes they key off that because like like if you're going into the game and you're saying, okay, they're going to use a load front, but they're really just doing it to isolate Bosa, like, okay, then we'll slide to Bosa to help, right? And then we'll kind of just man it to the other side. Well, so like if you can run games based on the set of 63, you could be right a lot of the time.
Bosa is an impressive player. We know that. But
No
one of the
doubt.
best parts of his game, I don't know if it's the best parts of the game. One of my favorite things about watching him is his timing on stunts when he is the penetrator. Like he sells it, he gets in there, he keeps it active. No, he gets cut off on this one because they end up sliding to him. So maybe this was the wrong clip to bring this up. But okay, so here's the biggest difference in this game. So this was the last play. 21 seconds in the fourth quarter. The next time the Rams get the ball, there's 2 minutes left in the overtime. The Niners sat on the ball for 13 minutes and 29. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. Because this was a third down play. So it was about 12 minutes. Okay. You get stick and return. So earlier in the game, I think it was earlier in the game. I don't know if I put the play on here. They ran stick and nod. They ran stick. I think at one point they ran stick and nod. Nod is I'm gonna go stick. I'm gonna go out to the flat. I'm gonna go stick and then go. And then now they're gonna run stick return. So I'm gonna go here and break out. I'm gonna go here and break out, and then I'm gonna break it back. Nice little 3rd and 7 play. 3rd and 10, they get 7 yards, cover 1. So the Niners are riding. What's interesting to me is even though you could tell they're going to rush 5 because he is inside leverage, that kind of gives away that they're going to rush 5. The Niners are so good at these stunts, man. They are so good. Why do I have a 7-yard gain? Was this PI? I have this as a 7-yard gain. What am I missing here? Am I missing something? Did I screw this up? Possibly. Who knows?
That does happen from time to time. Some dumbass quality control gets it wrong.
So you got the 3-man game. If you've been following me, this is we call it now ram or flush. I can't even remember the names. We used to always get them. I always get confused because flush to me would be down here and flush the guy out. But they actually call this flush, where it's here, and then come around. They're running a 2-man game to this side. Even Warner is good at this stuff. Like to find an off-ball inside linebacker in a Tampa 2 or cover 3 system that can rush this well. This is impressive right here. This is like D-line vet stuff. So they run the stunt. What really suckers these guys in, because they're sliding, they're actually, the back is free releasing. So they're going to actually slide this way. So it's half slide protection, but without the running back in the game or in the core. What has to happen here is when he takes this step inside, he has to honor this and go with it, because the center, if it was half slide, he would step up in here and he would help. But because he is not helping, 63 has to honor this. He knows it's coming. They communicate well. But just the little time, and they get through as he's throwing the ball. But just that little timing by, I don't know, that's just, like you said at the beginning of this game, it's the little things right here.
Yep.
Like he really sells that he's going inside.
He really does. That's great especially for a linebacker who doesn't live in that world. That's an awesome rep.
Yeah. That's the little things to me that's like, all right, this guy's used to running with 3 down the field. This is, that's
the difference between like, that's the issue when like you just take someone's scheme and try to implement it and you're like, man, it's not really working as well as it worked for those guys. But it's like, it's not what they run necessarily, but how good they get at it. That's a really good rep. And we've seen a number of really good pass rush stunts from the 49ers in this game.
Yeah, there's not one bad stunt that I saw.
No, they've all been good.
We get 3-week rotation here. And this is what I meant by this. When Kupp was and I could be wrong, Lord knows. But when Kupp was the 3rd receiver, I noticed they were running more 3 buzz.
Yeah.
But now he's number 2, and they're running 3 week. Could it be coincidence? Absolutely could be coincidence. Yep. But I just feel like there may be something to that.
Yeah, no, you're
This is just
absolutely
country time high school football. You're going to shuffle, run, throw the go ball. I think this is a product of frustration. This is where I think Stafford will kill you, okay? I know they don't want to tie. I know they're trying to go for the win, right? I'm not sure if a win would have really helped them because, no, the Packers secured the 1 seed the previous week, right?
right. Yeah,
So I don't know if they were just getting frustrated by not having the ball for 12 minutes. It's 1st and 10. They just had a PI. I think they called PI on that. Okay, so they get the first down. What in this tells you to throw the go ball? Unless you think, oh, we can just beat him.
yeah,
I mean, he's lined up 7 yards off the guy.
yeah,
I mean, there's
I,
nothing here unless he just thinks, hey, I can win 1-on-1.
yeah. Is that Odell he's trying to throw it to?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's where when people say stuff like, oh, Odell kills your offense. And it's not, I'm not blaming, listen, I'm not going to blame Odell Beckham on this play. We have no idea what's going on. But when you get guys that chirp, and I'm not talking about Odell, I'm talking about in other situations where guys are like, give me the damn ball. This could be a problem. There is nothing here that tells me I should throw that route.
Yeah.
That ball should be right here. That is an alert built into this concept that, hey, if you get pressed or you like your matchup, take your shot. But he is off. He's bailing.
He's way off. He's
and
way
he
off.
Hasn't done anything.
He's in a half turn. Like,
yeah, and he hasn't done anything in this game where it's like, oh, we need to target this guy.
No.
They run another beater. So now they don't run the post because it's middle of field close. So he snaps the dig. They're running the drive. They got a drive, a dig. Yep. They're bringing the curl this time against 1 high or against 2 high. They ran the post. I think they're reading it. I could be wrong. We need James Light on the case here. He just throws it up. Interception, game over. Inspire change, getting your ass kicked. Okay.
Warner comes over and rips his helmet off. McVay's bugaboo was the 49ers, man. They can't beat the 49ers.
All right, so the chat said number 20 is a rookie who was terrible in the beginning of the season. The Rams probably just liked him one-on-one Odell. And that could be the case, but that's where you're like, you're off, you're outside, you're just feathering out of there. I don't understand. Go through your
progression and find the completion.
Yeah. How about I didn't know that Judge got fired? You're like a jerk. All right. Anybody have any questions in the chat? Post them. Ben, what'd you think after watching that?
Like I mentioned, I thought the 49ers did a lot of good things. There wasn't anything like crazy. There wasn't anything that was just like, oh my God, they completely went like off the reservation for this game plan and just did something they had never done. Like they played cover 3 and mixed it up with some quarters, and they ran really good pass rush stunts. And the corners fit the nub runs really good. And they won up front. Like that's the recipe for playing really good defense. Win up front, don't get the ball thrown over your head, make the plays you're supposed to make, get after the quarterback, and good things are going to happen. Like that's really the recipe to play good defense. And they really, like early in the game they got down. It seemed like they kind of got settled in a little bit, got into their base cover 3 stuff, got out of a little bit of the man-to-man, and then kind of got back to man-to-man later in the game. Maybe just assuming they were fixing to see all the cover 3 beaters and say, like, hey, we're going to switch it up and play man. But, I mean, the 49ers, they're in the playoffs, aren't they? I mean, when you can get after the passer and stop the run like that, you've got a chance to play some great defense. And, like philosophically, how do you win? You've got to be explosive on offense. But, like, at the end of the day, defense still wins championships. And this is a defense playing at a high level coming into the playoffs.
I just discovered something. I can do this with questions. So you can pop them in the chat. Oh, that's awesome. So if somebody has a question, I can be like, Mike Mamola, are the 49ers cover 3 or can't? That's freaking awesome. You learn something new every day. Cool. I was clicking around. So they're a 3 deep. To me, they're a 3 deep base team. From what I saw, I didn't see one snap at Tampa all game.
No.
How are you getting this Sona study, and how can I get it? That is top secret information. Sorry. It's not going to happen. Do you have an opinion on the best defensive front of the playoffs? Donovan, honestly, I don't study the game like that. I spend most of my time watching college football. I pick one game a week. I'll kind of watch the red zone a little bit. I kind of keep my eye on it. I know enough about the NFL to do this type of stuff, but I don't know it like that. I mean, the Niners, they got to be up there with the best fronts. I mean, the Rams front's pretty damn good. But I think they can be neutralized. I don't know. Well, Aaron Donald can't be, but I think honestly, Aaron Donald is the best defender in the NFL. But I think the problem with the Rams and their roster construction, as you saw tonight, is it's stars and nothing. Like, they have Stafford and Odell, and then they have a partridge in a pear tree at right guard.
No draft picks either.
That's the problem, is they have Von Miller, and then they have some guy you've never heard of that's not very good. Where the Niners, it seems like no, don't get me wrong, Bosa's phenomenal, but they seem like their talent's more spread out. I didn't see either the Rams O-line is terrible, but or the Niners are the greatest thing ever. I didn't see any weaklings.
Yeah,
the Raiders,
the
Raiders are good. Again, though, I don't study people. Like, I don't even know half the people that are out there. To me, I do this as a way to teach the game. I don't really look at like the personnel. I mean, I know enough to tell you, like, Tart's their weak safety and stuff like that, but that part of the game never really interests me, so I'm the wrong person to ask. I don't know, Ben, do you have any thoughts there?
I don't really study, and I love watching NFL tape, but this is like the first 49ers game I've watched. I don't really know their personnel that much.
Yeah, we need
just watching this one
Sandra
game,
and Donovan to help us out. Sandra and Donovan, and we're filling us in. Sandra, if you're still here, help us break this down, because I would like people
tell us who these people are.
Guy. I don't watch the game like that, so I'm not good with those type of questions. But I'm just sad that I know Verrett. I'm always a Verrett guy. He's a TCU guy, so I'm always a fan of his. Sad to see him get hurt. We got some questions in the chat. All right, I'm going to get fancy with this. Okay. Chris Evans, Superman or Captain America, asks, what advantages are you getting from Buzz instead of 3 week or vice versa? Is Buzz playing similar to one cross to hunt crossers? In that way, yes. The reason that you play 3 week Buzz is so you can get a safety having to take the vertical, because in cover 3, let me get to it. Let me draw this. Let me get to the formation real quick. I don't remember them throwing a lot of just straight trips. Oh, I found the one clip that fast. Okay. So the problem is they're all walked up here. So let's just put X's on a board, or X's on the screen. Okay. So pretend he's backed off. He's your third player. Okay. This position right here, your weak hook defender, has to take the vertical of 3, even in 2x2. So even if it was 2x2 and you got a fast 3 and you get Y cross, that guy's got to take it. So even though Warner is great, you're still having, let's say Warner's the three week player here. He's not in this. This is actually cover 1, but let's just say for argument's sake. Guys, by the way, follow me on Twitter at Coach Vass, VASS, the show's account at MDGA Podcast. I know some of you guys I interact with on Twitter, but like some of the new people that I met tonight, like Donovan, I don't believe we've interacted much. Sandra, Jason, I think we've talked before. Follow me on Twitter. And keep these conversations going, because I really enjoy them. But anyway, so and this is what I was trying to say to Donovan and wasn't doing a really good job explaining it. Like, it's not that I don't like that Warner running with 3. Like, I don't think he can do it. It's that you're playing a deep route from short to deep. And anytime you can play it top down, it's going to be better. because it's coming to you, right? So that it's just a mechanical thing. The problem with 3 week is, as we mentioned earlier, is the backer fits, and then your backer, he's what would be called the 4 to first crosser. So he's got to take the crosser from this side, or he's got to take the back. So if I got a big guy who can't run real well, and that's McCaffrey, a healthy McCaffrey, he's got to cover him, basically man on that side. That's the problem. So that's why I like Buzz. It's for the passing game, in my opinion. So, and in overhang, to answer your other question, in overhang on defense, those are just generic terms for people that are outside the box. Like this guy's an overhang. Nothing really scientific about it, or like special about it. Sandra says, I'm going to go apeshit with this. Sandra says, he thinks Trey Lance should play more. Yeah, that's a weird deal. What do you think by that whole situation? I don't know. I don't know enough about it.
I think, they picked him really high. I'm sure they're high on him, but he's probably not where they want him to be to just turn him loose, especially at playoff time. But when you draft a quarterback that high, he is the future. It's not if, it's when.
Yeah.
Maybe Jordan Love will get screwed over because Aaron Rodgers just is, you pissed him off and he's playing at, the highest level he might have ever played at in his career, and he's just going to try to bury this first round pick.
Is it bad that I'm rooting for the Packers and for him to have to boycott the Super Bowl? Is that bad?
Like, I saw that report and that's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, the only thing missing it's not even missing because he's 1-1, but it's like, who would boycott the Super Bowl? Like, yeah, I'm going to put all this work in all season to get us to the Super Bowl, cement our legacy as a team, cement my legacy as a player, win another Super Bowl, and then I'm just not going to play in the game and be like, screw you.
I don't want to get into it. This is not a political show. I don't want to get into vaccine mandates and all that stuff, but just get the damn shot, man. Just get the shot.
He definitely. On, yeah, he certainly took some heat for misleading people about his vaccination status. But boycotting the Super Bowl, like for me, the thing was like that. It was a former quarterback reporting that story. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I was kind of at a loss for words. How could you? You're a quarterback. You know how wild that is that someone would boycott the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Last question here we had was insert 3. I mentioned about Coach Leonard. That just means that they brought their inside. So they're a 3-4 team, and we don't have any odd pictures tonight, but they did was. A lot of the times when you're a tight front team, okay, let's say his nickel's out here. When you play 3 deep, you bring the nickel and you drop this guy, or you'll bring and then rotate strong, or what you'll do is you'll bring the jack and you'll rotate weak. What they did was, because they had those badass linebackers. Also, when you bring people off the edge, it's harder to cover boots and stuff, and being in the Big Ten, it's stretch boot all day long. What they would do is they'd use these guys as rushers. And what it does is it gets your best guy, in their case, rushing, and it also keeps these guys on the edge playing the edges. So all these slider boot plays. By the way, did we see? No, we saw a couple slide boots. We saw a couple. Slide boots.
We saw a few.
I was gonna say, how come? How come you're not doing that, right? Like, how come they're not doing more of that? But I just don't understand, like...
I like, against the 49ers, I get why it would be difficult because they're going to play a 9 technique. Those dudes are running up the field. Like, they're playing pass first. They're going to react to run. It's like that would be bad for business. You got a quarterback like Matt Stafford who turns around, all of a sudden he's taking a helmet in the chin,
Yeah, and I meant what I meant to say is I still don't understand those Cooper Cup designs.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're over 2.5 hours now, man. My brain is fried. I'm not feeling all that great.
Real quick here, I'm looking at the wild card schedule. And like now that we've done this for a couple weeks now, there's some good games on here like 49ers Cowboys. We've watched both of those teams. Like the Cowboys offensive line's pretty good, but we just watched the 49ers defensive line. That'll be a good matchup
I
there.
need to do a Cowboys defensive game because they've been really good on defense this year, and it hasn't been the right game. And
Maybe we'll get it this weekend.
all the stuff with Quinn and with Micah Parsons and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna root for them just so we can do that shows you. If you're ever like, oh, Vass is a homer, he doesn't like this coach or he doesn't like that coach, he can't like be objective. Like, I'm literally rooting for teams so we can talk about them here. Like, I do not care.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there are certain guys I think are overrated. A lot of my problems with guys is the media, and like the whole Brandon Staley thing. Like, I want to say this again. I like Brandon. And I've said this a million times. I knew Brandon when he was at Northern Illinois back in like 2009. He's very nice to me. I like him. He's a great dude, a great human, which if you know me, you know that's very, very important to me in this business. That's like number 1, 2, and 3 for me. What bothers me about it is I do not like people who are, this is what we do no matter what. We talked about this earlier. We did a Titans game earlier, Donovan, earlier this year. There's been a couple times, actually almost did them when they beat the Dolphins, but we had already done them. Now that it's playoffs, I'm going to do best performance. It may be the same defense every week. I'm going to try to mix it up because just to make it more fun. But we did do a Titans game early in the year. We had some guests join us too. But the media, I get that Brandon is cutting edge. It just bothers me that, like, some of these guys are looked at old school, like guys that are overly conservative are looked as old school dinosaurs and they can do nothing right. And then there's the overly aggressive and they're cutting edge and, like Brandon Staley, no matter what he does, it's a great process. No. If you keep doing the right thing and it keeps failing, my question has always been, at what point do you deviate? If your answer is, we're not going to deviate, this is what we do, that to me is not smart. That is not good process. People keep talking about this whole, people think this is fucking tech, or if I hear another person compare a human being to a deck of cards, I'm going to lose my shit. Like, oh, well, the probabilities of this isn't fucking blackjack. Okay? This is not blackjack. These are humans. They are not playing cards. These are not dice. These are humans that make decisions that don't always make sense and don't always work out. And there's no momentum. Bullshit. You miss 2 or 3 field goals in a row, that fourth one's going to be harder to make than it would have made if you hadn't missed it. There's no way, and you can show me every stat known to man. I've done enough psychology and coaching of people in this game to know that that's not the case. If that's not true, how come after big plays the sideline gets quiet? Now, maybe at the highest level they can overcome that shit. Maybe that's more of a high school thing. But taking the human element out of these decisions, like Joe Lombardi is objectively terrible at creating fourth down plays. We talked about this when I did the Ravens Chargers, and I beat this into the ground, but like the Ravens have been a cover 1 team since Rex was there. And they throw hitch into press man against Marlon Humphrey with the rookie receiver, and then they do the same play 2 quarters later. And it's bad. It's good process, but how do you? It's good process, but the call was bad. Well, if a potato is designing your plays, where do you factor that in? If you're telling me the analytics take everything into account, what is the metric? And maybe I'm just stupid, which very well could be. What is the metric that tells me, hey, Andy Reid is designing this play, or Pat Shurmur? That should matter. Somewhere it should matter. And these decisions that go, and I get it. NFL offenses are so good. If you got the ball at your own 15-yard line and you punt it, they're probably going to kick a field goal anyway. So you might as well at least try to get the ball out of there and kick it further. I don't understand. And you know, I get that most of these coaches are assholes, and I get that they don't talk to the media, but just because somebody talks to you and explains something doesn't mean they're geniuses. You know, and so many things got attributed to this guy, and just like McVay, he's young. Let's admit it. Let's tell the truth. Why does everybody love McVay? He's young. He's really good looking. He's got a supermodel girlfriend, and he's a genius with remembering shit. Belichick can do all the same shit that McVay can do with recall. But nobody's like, oh my God, he rattled off the starters for the opposing team at the press conference after the game. Wow, what a genius. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, that's what I don't understand. It's the guys, they swing from his nuts, and they'll just defend him. Like, the timeout that he took the other night was absolutely insanely dumb.
That was insane.
And I'm going to say this, and this may be insulting, and I'm sorry for anybody that's listening to this that would fall in this camp. But you look on Twitter, the people, it almost fell down straight in line. The people that were like, they're running the clock out were people that have played and coached the game. The people that were like, oh no, they were going to kick the field goal, are people that did not play the game, that do not understand. Like, the body language, the play calls, the tempo, everything they did was screaming that they were going to just run the clock out and go for the tie.
Yeah, they were going to let that be a tie.
And then you got guys online, and I hate to say this because some of these guys are my friends, but some of these guys, you know, one of my good friends posted something that was like, oh, we got to turn everything into an argument nowadays. That was the right call. What the fuck? Right call for what? If they would have left Melvin Ingram in the game, or not Melvin Ingram, I'm sorry. What the? Oh my God. Kenneth Murray. Why did I say Melvin Ingram? I'm thinking of the running back. And that's not even Melvin Ingram. He's the defensive lineman. Jesus, I'm losing my mind. Kenneth Murray, somebody was like, well, if they would have left Kenneth Murray and the outcome would have been worse. I'm like, what's a worst outcome? You gave up 10 yards and they kicked the field goal. What is worse than that? They ran a touchdown? I mean, what's the fuck? At least then you get the ball back. Yeah. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's, and it's just defend. Like, even last night, Kirby, they were up 7. They kicked the extra. Yeah. Oh, we should have went for 2. I'm like, what fucking planet are you from? Make them chase you. Don't do that. Like, I don't understand this new way of thinking that's like, you got to listen to this chart, and the chart's never wrong. Anytime anybody tells me you have to do this, you always have to do this, you never can do that, that's when you lose me. Yeah. Because you are tuning out any sort of critical thinking. It
takes all the context of the game out of it.
Yes, and the flow of the game. But when you have people that don't believe in momentum and don't believe in flow of the game, and they take every play as this individual thing that happens, it doesn't work like that. Confidence is real. Confidence is a thing. Where do you get confidence from? By stringing good things together. You can't tell me that doesn't. I mean, look at the fucking Rams O-line. We just watched them. By the end of the game, they were blocking ghosts.
Yeah.
They were so worried about penetration. They were taking these super crazy angles. It was literally, remember the play where the running back got cut off? His own blocker cooked out the A-gap. Because he was so worried about Eric Armstead or whomever it was just getting in the back or getting in the backfield, they like overreached the overreach, and they cut the play off. Why did that happen? Because the other guy's been kicking their ass. Okay, so maybe momentum in the classical term doesn't exist, whatever that means, but this is real shit. Like it drives me insane. We are not decks of cards. We are not a roulette table. Stop. I'm sorry. And the discourse now is if you don't agree, and this is like a lot, and I hate to be like, I sound like I'm a Fox newscaster, but like, no offense to anybody, but like, If you disagree, oh, you're an idiot and you don't know what you're talking. I mean, one of the guys from PFF, they couldn't draw a power up versus 50, which was our test at St. Francis. If a parent wanted to talk to us, it was a joke, by the way. You had to draw up power versus 50. If you wanted to discuss scheme or playing time, draw power versus 50 and you can talk to me. We never really did it. But couldn't even draw power versus 50. And he's sitting there telling me I fundamentally don't understand sports, specifically football. And here's the other thing. These people, what do? Fourth down decision making, EPA in certain plays run in certain situations.
Right.
But if you can't block Bosa, you're not going to run outside zone. I don't give a shit who you are. You better run power. You better trap him. And that's the thing I never saw. Where is any long traps? They tried to run counter one time, but it was too slow.
Yeah.
Take your fat ass guard and kick Bosa out. Oversplit him. Yeah. Take Higbee down inside, kick him out, just get something downhill, double team the 3 technique, try to get some movement and get downhill. But it's all this cute bullshit. I'm gonna fake here and fake there, and I'm gonna fake him out. Meanwhile, their fucking linebackers are like Scud missiles just coming downhill on them, and it's just like, what are we doing? I'm sorry, I'm ranting, I'm getting all insane. The game is about relationships, and it's about blocking and fucking tackling. And if you can't, as we've seen in the past couple days, relationships get you fired. Blocking and tackling, you saw it right there. Those plays are great, but if you can't block their ass, it don't matter. You know what I mean? And so, I know, listen, I love science. I think analytical way of thinking is fantastic. I'm not anti-analytics. I am anti being like, this is what the data says no matter what. I'm sorry. There is no way that you can convince me that going for it on 4th and 1 when you're, and I know you've had the most 4th down conversions ever, but you've also tried the most 4th down conversions. It's like all these records now. Oh, this guy had the most receiving yards in a year. Yeah, because you're playing one more game. Of course
they're going to.
But, okay, so here's the question. Is your problem with the decision to go for it or the play calling execution? The answer is yes. They go together. So this is the argument, Daddy DeVito. I can't believe I just said that in a serious context.
That's a pretty sweet little username.
Is if I'm Brandon Staley and I am making the decision to go for it, and I have Joe Lombardi designing the play that's going to get me that first down, or I have Mike Kafka, Eric Bieniemy, or Andy Reid, I'm going to feel differently about it. Forget the players, because it doesn't matter how good Justin Herbert is. If your answer to run 4th and 2 to get a 4th and 2 against a press cover 1 team is hitch, it doesn't matter how good he is. It's a shitty play call. Players can only get you out of so many bad situations. And then to do it again. So that's the argument I don't understand. And Mr. DeVito, I'm just going to call you Mr. DeVito because I called you Daddy once and that was enough for me. But they roll together. It's just like on defense. If you're and people say that shouldn't matter. Okay. Well, if my goal is to pin someone deep, like play field position, if my defense is kicking their ass, yes, if my defense can't hold them, then go for it, right? Like, let's say it's like in the 50-ish yard line. Also, those numbers scale by level. You should not use the same metrics for the NFL that you use for high school or even Division I, even SEC football to like D2. There would be different metrics. But that I have the problem is going for it is all encompassing. Who your players are, who's designing your plays, who's blocking for you. I don't think you can separate those. I don't think you can say, oh, that was a great decision, a bad play call. They go together, don't they? Now, what I will say is that the defense makes some crazy ass like play. Like you have it all drawn up and schemed up and some guy makes some superhuman play. That's when I think, okay, my problem is the play call, not the decision. It was the right call. But oftentimes the right call is whether you get it or not. And a lot of people say, oh, that's not how you should do it. It should be, the intent versus the outcome, and the guy was open but he didn't catch it. Well, that's part of the deal. If you can't get the ball to him, it doesn't matter how open you are. This is not figure skating. You don't get, well, you know what? It was an incomplete pass, but you had 2 open guys, so we're going to give you 3 yards. Shit don't work like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's where we want to turn this game into figure skating. Like, oh, we got to judge. Like, you know what the best way to do it is? The way to win. That's the best way to do it. Anyway. And I understand you have to come up with a process to get to that result, but I'm sorry. Like, it's all in the same. And football is not baseball. There's too many variables to account for. That is exactly right. You know? And I don't want to be one of those guys like nothing matters but winning, because I don't think that's the case. But if we're talking about the whole like Staley thing, if we're talking about a one-off play, okay, yes, I could see the decision to go for it versus the execution. But when it's a pattern, like how many times do you have to go for it inside of your own 40-yard line and not get it, and the other team gets points to be like, hey, maybe this is not a good idea? And that was the thing that bothered me, Ben, is when I asked that one question, it was like I had said some crazy racist shit, or like, you know, like sent someone a what pick or something. And talked like,
about the third rail.
People were at the door with the torches, and I'm like, whoa. Anyway, all right, I've ranted enough.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you had a good convention. I'm glad you made it one piece. Give everybody your Twitter handle. Oh, by the way, before you do that, I'm so bad at this. Subscribe, turn on the notifications, give us a thumbs up, whatever you're supposed to do. We'll be back next Tuesday. Now when the games really start to count, win or go home. But yeah, I enjoyed a lot of the discourse in here tonight. A lot of the questions were great. I'm sorry for ranting. At least I saved my rant to the end, where you could just be like, all right, I've had enough of this shit, and turn out and click off. I didn't hijack you guys in the middle. But Ben, give them your Twitter account again, or if you don't remember it, I do. Where can everybody find you?
Yeah. So on Twitter, I'm at BenR4033. You can find me there. Follow me. Hit me up with questions, all that kind of stuff. Look forward to doing this through the playoffs. I think there's going to be some really good games, some really, really fun film to watch. And
then after the playoffs, we'll kind of see where we're at. And I'm going to bring on different guests and things as time goes on. People from different teams, especially now that games are starting to come thick and fast. And then maybe after the season, I'd love to do a Falcons game, because my love of Dean and his son Matt, and I'd like to circle back to some of the teams that we missed. Like pick. The goal is going to be like, I want to pick, if we don't somehow, let's say, knock on wood, or I don't care either way, but let's say the Cowboys get blown out. I don't see it happening, but let's just say they get blown out. You know, we need to do something on them. Like they had a great year on defense, and I'll pick a game. I don't think I've done the Bills yet. I'll do a Bills game. I thought I did a Bills game, maybe not. Like some of these teams that really deserve a game. I'm trying to find an excuse. I'm hoping the Seahawks are good next year, because I want to have Maddie Brown and Mina join me. Although it's gonna be hard to get Mina on here. She does this for a living. I doubt she's going to do it in her off time. But I know that Seahawks, this place will be lit if we do a Seahawks game. So I'm looking for an excuse. Maybe I'll find, if they had a really good game this year, maybe we'll do a game. But anyway, I'm hoping to do that. Maybe some college games, unless the man comes after me. And anyway, thanks guys for your time, Ben. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Good night, guys.